Good morning. Welcome to Semifinals Day here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. This is a 2 versus 3 matchup with the UMMC Knight Riders and the Kingsmen, Captain Jaskaran Malhotra with the Knight Riders and Captain Hamad Azam with Kingsmen. We're here also with third umpire Sandeep Gondalekar. The home team is the Kingsmen, and so you will toss the coin, sir. Heads is the call. It is.
It is heads.
It is a heads. So UMMC Knight Riders have won the toss. Captain Jaskaran Malhotra, what will you do?
Bowl first.
I saw that one coming all the way down 290. Tell me why.
I mean, it's no brainer. Wicket is a little damp. It's been raining quite heavy from the past few days. And not only that, I feel like our strength has been chasing, and I like to see the target on the board, and then we can plan accordingly.
You yourself took a pretty nasty blow on the collarbone a couple of days ago. First of all, how are you doing? And secondly, does that impact your keeping or your, well, clearly doesn't impact your batting. Does it impact your keeping?
Not really. It's just like we've been playing a lot of back-to-back games, and it's been really hot. So, I mean, that's why as professional athletes, we keep our fitness up. So there's no excuse, especially at this big level.
Fantastic. Go well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Had you won the toss, am I correct in assuming you'd have wanted to bowl first as well?
I mean, yeah, because the the conditions are a bit suitable for the bowlers, but I don't mind batting first because it's a big game, knockout, semi-final. So if you put a good runs on the board, like it's not easy to chase, and the pitch behavior gonna be same. I don't think like it gonna change.
So speaking of a good score on the board, what sort of number are you looking for to put on the board here today?
I mean, like we have to see like how the pitch gonna behave because it was quite difficult yesterday night. But I think like 150, 160 would be good.
Completely agree. Go well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So once again, the news here from the center is the UMMC Knight Riders have won the toss. Captain Jaskaran Malhotra has decided to have a bowl. Good morning. Welcome to the semifinal, big semifinal here between the UMMC Knight Riders and the Kingsmen. Brian Walters with you alongside Matthew Chaibar. Contestants in the middle are Matthew Guptill, Martin Guptill, and Shajil Khan. Carmilla Rue with new ball in hand. Good morning, Matthew Chaibar.
Good morning to you. A bit overcast, but still the sun is out as Camila Rue starts things off.
Goodness. Carmilla Rue, obviously, in the past couple of days we've seen a reunion of the Carmilla Rue fan club in the YouTube comment section. And Carmilla Rue gets the new ball, which I was hoping to see. That left arm over angle is a really good one, bowling to Martin Guptill. A little bit of attention being paid to the pitch for the last couple of days. We've had some relatively poor weather here in the Houston area in Prairie View for the last couple of days, but groundsmen have worked very hard to get these games underway. Carmilla Rue again. Fizzes past the outside edge. Make that maybe a fourth stump line. Guptill watches that one go through to the keeper. So what are you expecting today? We're able to play a full 20-over match for the first time in a few days. What do you think the conditions are going to dictate? What do you think kind of a score that we're looking for here to start with for the Kingsmen?
Well, if we learned anything from yesterday and Friday is that scores have been quite low scoring. And we had 10 over contests yesterday. We had 15 the day before. And things were relatively low scoring all across the complex as we see Martin Guptill gets himself and the Kingsmen off and running. So the toss definitely has played a huge part because as the day goes on and as the sun starts to shine a little bit more, the pitch gets a little bit better, conditions probably a bit easier to bat on. And we saw from yesterday, between yesterday and today, pretty much every side that has won the toss has decided to have a ball first, put the team batting first under perhaps some more tougher conditions to really bat on, set probably a below par total, and then take their chances with chasing and with better conditions, as well as knowing what the total is required. So definitely the UMCC Knight Riders from that standpoint alone will feel they've got an advantage, a psychological advantage over the Kingsmen.
You summed it up very well. get back to that point shortly as Carmelaru now bowling to Shajil Khan. This one is down the leg side. Umpire Owen Brown standing at the forest end for the first time extends the arms. So your point about each team who wins the toss wanting to bowl first, I think is an important one because the conditions, I think, dictate exactly that. A little bit of moisture around, and with the high temperature today here in Prairie View, supposed to be 101, there's always the chance that it gets better for batting later as it dries out. Good ball, bang on target again from Carmelaru. Good first over this so far.
Yeah, certainly. 4 teams left in the competition, and all 4 of them have not lost the game as yet. All 4 unbeaten so far. UMMC Knight Riders and Kingsmen, so definitely will be treated to some really good battles. And this one, Carmelaru bowling to Shajil Khan and Martin Guptill right in the first over of the innings. Already a promising sign of what to expect.
Great delivery. Boy, Carmelaru with his hand on top of his head, as you would have thought that that one could have threatened the outside edge. Great delivery here from Carmelaru.
Yeah, fine start indeed from Carmelaru. Bowling to Martin Guptill and Shajil Khan, especially in the power play, not a very easy feat. Carmelaru has held his own well so far. But as we mentioned, because of the stacked names in both of these lineups, we'll be seeing a lot of intriguing contests between bowler and batsman. Carmelaru to Shajil Khan is certainly one of them.
My goodness, so 1 ball left here in the first over. Whipped away for 4. That is an elegant looking shot. Carmelaru getting that one just a touch straight. And Shajil Khan jumping all over it, exactly as you'd expect the left-hander to do, getting inside the line, whipping it over square, backward square for 4.
Have a look at this again. Shajil Khan. Lovely little pickup shot there. Good way to close out the first over. It's 6 for none, the Kingsmen.
So 6 without loss. Good first over. You'll accept a run a ball, but I think Carmelaru will be disappointed to have conceded that boundary to close out that first over. Just conceding 2 runs before that, one of which was a wide. So I think the professional that he is, he'll want to make sure that that ball stays on off stump. And in the meantime, bowling now from the highway end, the southern end of the ground, is Usman Shinwari. Bowling to Martin Guptill. Left arm over the wicket. What a great delivery. Absolutely great delivery. Drawing him forward, threatening that outside edge. Ball fizzing through to wicketkeeper Jaskaran Malhotra.
Yeah, good start indeed there from Usman Shinwari. Have a look at that. Peach of a delivery to Martin Guptill. You'll take deliveries like that to really get these two out early, because as we see with batsmen of quality with Martin Guptill and Shajil Khan, don't really play a lot of false shots, and when they get going, they can really hurt you. They'll have to pull out some bit of magic with ball in hand. It's not an easy feat to dismiss these two.
Well, I tell you, the advantage of having 2 lefties open the bowling, 2 quick lefties. Carmelaru, very tall, quick, and Usman Shinwari, just a little bit different in terms of he does not come from as tall a height as Carmelaru, but the pace is no less than Carmelaru's. In fact, it may be a couple of yards of pace quicker than Carmelaru. So these 2 opening batters, I think, have their hands full with an absolutely brilliant bowling lineup to start. Great delivery again. He has gone past the great New Zealand opening batter twice in the 3 balls that he's bowled to him, fizzing past the outside edge.
Another great delivery this from Usman Shinwari. It's been a very good start here for the UMMC Knight Riders. Haven't allowed the Kingsmen batters, aside from the boundary from Shajil Khan, haven't seen much else from them. Only 6 on the board. halfway through the second over. And certainly with Martin Guptill and Shajil Khan out in the middle, it is definitely a circumspect beginning.
Oh my goodness. Make that another dot ball going past the outside edge again. Shinwari has that ball on a string.
Usman Shinwari, what an over this has been. You mentioned the benefit of having two lefties kick things off for the UMMC Knight Riders. Suddenly working out quite well here against Martin Guptill.
Oh my goodness. That ball, he is bowling a consistent fourth stump line, and that length that just draws Guptill forward, and that ball is dancing away at the last minute. Absolute brilliant bowling so far. Make that 5. 5 in a row that goes right past the outside edge. My goodness, just one ball remaining here in this over, and I'll tell you, Martin Guptill showing just a bit of frustration. I don't know that the pitch is exactly what where I'd lay the blame. Much of it, I would think, would have to do with the brilliance of Usman Shinwari.
Yeah, certainly having faced 5 dot deliveries, it's all about staying calm and not inducing a false shot here from Martin Guptill. But out of the 5 dot balls, he's only been able to lay bat on one of them. Other than that, it's been brilliance, as you mentioned, from Usman Shinwari.
Well, Martin Guptill has seen enough. Finally making contact with that ball a little bit fuller and just driving through the line, mid-on and mid-off inside the circle. That is always going to be 4.
Such is the class from Martin Guptill. Lovely shot straight down the ground. So boundary once again to close out the second over. It's 10 for none, the Kingsmen.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
10 without loss. And Matt, we now have our full quota of 20 overs, which means that you can stay with your bowlers a little bit longer. They seem to be having success. Carmelo Rue, despite conceding that boundary from the last ball of his first over, I think is doing well enough that you want to keep him on as long as you can. Starting his second over now. Oh, top edge, that might fly away for 6. Yep, just over the top of Mohammed Mohsin down here at third man. Not exactly where he was looking to play that shot. Shajil Khan looking to flick that over backward square. That top edge with obviously much pace from Carmelo Rue takes that ball over deep third for 6.
Yeah, the faster they come, the further they fly. As the saying goes, getting the edge flies away for 6 to Shajil Khan. As you mentioned, not perhaps in command of that one at all. But still, a batter like Shajil Khan can find 6 from anywhere.
Oh, wave and a miss outside off stump. Now look, both of these opening bowlers are absolutely bringing the gas. You can tell earlier in the week we spoke a little bit about Carmelo Rue. Even though he had pace, he wasn't running in, sprinting in, if you will. But he seems to be sprinting in with a little bit more purpose. Of course, everybody's adrenaline is flowing. This is the semifinals, and absolutely everybody's on top of their game. Here he is again. Similar shot. Will Mohammed Mohsin have a chance? Oh, he has a chance, and he puts it down. Identical shot to the 6. Identical sort of result. This one did not carry all the way over the rope. Instead, right into Mohammed Mohsin's hand. The big man is not able to catch it.
Cannot afford to drop those, Mohammed Mohsin. Offering a chance is Shajil Khan. Has played that shot twice in this over. Hasn't really got them right. Yes, one went for 6, but on that occasion, could have been easily of the first wicket. And Mohammed Mohsin spilling that one. Have to make note of that. Shajil Khan on 10. Given a life.
Look at the carry. Look. Captain Jaskaran Malhotra, keeper, is standing back, I would estimate just about 20 yards. And he's collecting these deliveries at chest height. So that's a testament to number one, the pace in the pitch, and number two, how quick Carmelo Rule is bowling. And boy, I tell you, he will be fired up at the fact that he just had a catch put down. And I think he'll be more than looking to make amends. Mohamed Mohsin, a very proud cricketer, so he will not be happy that he put that one down, but a pretty straightforward catch.
Indeed it was, but like you said, Mohamed Mohsin, a quality all-rounder. I'm sure we'll see him with the ball at some point, maybe even with the bat. For all-rounders, you feel there's plenty of opportunities to make up for a missed chance in the field.
100% agree with that. Last delivery of the third. Great ball, and there's the edge, and he's gone. Well, Carmelo has actually dismissed both opening batters in this over. Did not get the catch from the batter Shajil Khan, but he goes across Martin Guptill, kisses the outside edge, and the first wicket goes down 17 for 1.
Martin Guptill seemed to just be struggling a bit with the one just outside that nagging fourth stump. And now Kami LaRue probes there again. Have a look at this one. A great delivery from Kami LaRue. Mentioned the quality of a bowler he is. Oh, look at that. What a ball.
Absolute peach of a delivery. That is the end of 3, 17 for 1. What an absolute peach of a delivery from Carmelo Rue. And I'll tell you, that is exactly a fast bowler's dream, particularly a left-handed fast bowler, to get that ball pitching on, middling off, drawing the batter forward, and then dancing away just a touch, kissing the outside edge. Absolute beautiful delivery.
Indeed it was from Carmelo Rue. Certainly get the UMMC Knight Riders firing. They were always keeping things tight. Kingsmen weren't really getting the boundaries away, perhaps to the extent, particularly Martin Guptill. Eventually the wicket came, as we see Usman Shinwari. Very successful first over from him, returns.
Oh, what a shot. Oh, my goodness. That is a shot of authority. A little too full, driving right through the line, over the top for 6.
Goodness me, Shajil Khan. Proof that it doesn't take a lot to hit a 6. Not always is it just brute strength. Sometimes it's just good old placement and timing. Straight down the ground. One of the shots of the day, and we're only 4 overs into the day. But already that's a candidate, I'm sure, Shajil Khan.
Stunning shot. Very little flourish, very little follow through. Just an elevated, almost like a check drive that flies away 75 yards. Absolutely brilliant shot. So that takes some of the pressure off. And I think Shinwari will want to pull his length back just a little bit. That's not unexpected. That's exactly what he did there. Banging that one in a little short. And I believe this is going to be signaled a leg by. There it is by umpire Aditya Gajar. Great ball.
Better comeback delivery there from Usman Shinwari. Just as you predicted, pulling things back a little bit to Shajil Khan. And even still, we saw him play that pickup shot right at the end of the first over. Ramiz Raja Jr. comes into strike. First delivery for him. 24 for 1. And now you feel with the loss of Martin Guptill quite early on, maybe a challenge awaits for Kingsmen for the rest of the batting lineup, which we know is still quite powerful. But perhaps some earlier than expected exposure for the likes of Ramiz Raja.
Boy, he is bowling gas. He is absolutely bowling gas. Got it too full the first ball, and it was tonked back down the ground for 6. But the last couple have been spot on where you want. If you have that type of pace, your stock delivery should be exactly that. Just short of length and forcing the batter onto the back foot. That's what you've seen here in these last couple of deliveries.
He's done very well here, Usman Shinwari. And perhaps bowling to the new man, Ramiz Raja. Perhaps just gives him a few deliveries to work with. Ramiz Raja trying to get settled in, trying to prevent the loss of a second wicket in the power play.
What a great delivery. Oh my goodness. I mentioned these left arm over bowlers, both of them lightning fast, and if they get the length right. I think the length is what's important. Look at this one, pitching and leaving Ramiz Raja Jr. Oh, absolutely brutal delivery. And Shinwari now conceding a 6, yes, but the other balls have been bang on target, and you'll take every single one of these that you can get from your opening pair. Opening fast bowlers have the Kingsmen under pressure. Ramiz Raja now feeling the pressure, looking to step down, which is never the most brilliant of ideas to a bowler of Shinwari's pace. Looking to step down and missing the hoik. And yet another dot ball in this over.
Just exactly what Usman Shinwari would have probably liked to see from Ramiz Raja. Put him under some pressure, get him to play rash and wild shots like that. Because if he gets an edge, it's another catching opportunity. So advantage UMMC Knight Riders, and Usman Shinwari and Kamil Aru have done very well in just frustrating the batters.
Well, the pace at which he's bowling, there's a backward square leg. I don't know that I would not bring him back to sort of fine leg. I'd move him probably 30 or so yards to his right, because this ball is flying off the pitch. Anything that's hooked is going to be off the edge. And that's exactly where I was looking for the ball to be. Maybe not the type overs.
Yeah, they've managed to finish with a boundary, all except for one over. So certainly a recurring theme here happening for the Kingsmen. 4 done, 28 for 1.
Carmeliru now going to be starting his third over. So you've actually taken 2 wickets if you're Carmeliru, even though only 1 counted. And he's bowling absolutely brilliantly. Regulation looking field to the left-hander. There's a deep third and kind of a wideish fine leg. Still inside the power play, of course, so those are the only 2 allowed outside the circle. Carmeliru again bowling to Shajil Khan. Oh, bang down the ground. That is going to be 6. Second consecutive over where Shajil Khan starts things off with a 6.
And in similar fashion to the one he did in the previous over, Shajil Khan starting to light things up here at Prairie View. Greets Kamil Aru with a lovely shot. 23 off 9 for Shajil Khan. 3 sixes already for the day. And he is looking quite dangerous. The UMMC Knight Riders. He was put down on 10. Don't forget about that. It was certainly ruining that missed chance.
My goodness. So Carmeliru, of course, with that field I mentioned, with a deep third and sort of a wideish fine leg. That field dictates that you bowl a shorter length, because if you allow the batter to drive the ball down the ground, there's nobody in the deep. So you're going to have to pull that length back if you're Carmeliru. I think he's a good enough bowler to know to make that adjustment. But already, probably for the first time in his spell today, he's under some pressure. Here he is again. Looks for the Yorker, does not quite get it where he wanted it, but it's going to be whipped all the way down to deep square leg for a couple. And so on the first occasion, it might have been the length that was the issue. I think this time it was the line.
Yeah, and Shajil Khan clearly has only got one thing in mind, and that is to go big at almost every single delivery. Kamila Roo put under some pressure, 8 conceded in his first 2 deliveries alone, into his third over.
The thick edge, a diving attempt by Mohamed Mohsin, who's had some work to do, not able to get to that one. Yet another boundary for Shajil Khan.
Yeah, Shajil Khan, he's had a bit of luck. He had a drop catch, he had a few edges fly his way. That one, another one added to the list. But doesn't matter how they come, it's another boundary. And really going after Kamila Roo on this occasion. The thing with the UMMC Knight Riders is that Kamila Roo enters his third over, which in a normal team you would probably say is sacrificing him an over for the death. But when you look at the rest of the bowling in this lineup,
oh, shot. Look at that shot. That was a shot of class. Again, just a little too straight for Kamila Roo, and stepping inside the line of Shajil Khan, whipping it away over backward square for yet another 6.
not many men that can tame the beast that is Shajil Khan in the United States. Kamila Roo, one of the best bowlers around. And you can see what ease Shajil Khan is having playing these shots, has flown up to 35. 18 runs coming off this over, and going back to the point, they've still got 2 very good pacers in this side, the likes of Matthew Ford and Umair Asif.
Slower delivery. Good change by Kamila Roo. A rare dot ball. 18 that you mentioned coming from this over, Matt. And this is, I said a couple of deliveries ago that this is the first time that Kamila Roo has really been under some pressure. Well, I think a good thinking bowler is able to sort of make his way through that pressure, overcoming it. And I think Kamila Roo is going to want to make sure that this last delivery is not one that concedes either a boundary or a 6. And that, I think, will allow him to get some sort of respite from what has been a pretty ordinary over so far. Skyer, second chance taken. What a big shot. Kamila Roo has conceded 18 runs, but he has taken the big wicket. He gets the last laugh. Shajil Khan disappears for 35.
And that's not a man you would expect to drop that one. Ali Sheikh, one of the top fielders around. Shajil Khan, I mentioned, had a bit of luck. On this occasion, the luck ran out. Kamila Roo gets the wicket. Ali Sheikh makes no mistake. Makes up for the drop chance earlier, but not before a bit of damage done from Shajil. He falls for 35 or 14. It's 46 for 2.
That's a big wicket. Well, you alluded to it earlier, Matt, with the power at the top of the lineup, Shajil Khan and Martin Guptill. It's a blessing and a curse, because the blessing is that you have 2 top-class batters who can get you plenty of runs. The curse is that the middle order doesn't get much time in the middle. So both openers have now been dismissed, and the middle order has not had much time, as I said, in the middle so far. They are now in the position of having to sort of rebuild.
Indeed, and now still there's lots of quality there. Ramiz Raja is still a very capable batter. Saad Ali walks to the middle. Another highly accomplished player across the country. And still the likes of Milind Kumar, Hamad Azam, Hamid Singh can bat as well. But yeah, just they haven't had much time in the middle, haven't really got a good shot, especially with very, very inconsistent and very tough conditions to bat on. Will be interesting to see how the approach changes from here. Still 15 overs to go, back to a full 20 as Umair Asif comes into the attack.
The Sif hits the deck hard. Yet another pacer. This is the first time that a right-handed pacer is bowling. And, you know, you mentioned Ali Sheikh earlier. For my money, and I said this earlier this week or in the tournament, the best fielder in the tournament. And watch that man at backward point, because with this ball coming on to the bat as quickly, as hard as he's bowling, as quickly as he's bowling, short of length, that backward point position is going to be one of the key positions in this match. Slash and a miss. And he's now bringing the heat as well, Umaid Asif.
And going back to the amount of paces, we saw Kamil Aru, we saw Usman Shinwari, now Umaid Asif. And even though the over perhaps didn't go to plan, well, it did get the wicket of Shajil Khan, so I can't say it didn't go to plan. Even though it did go for 18, I do like the idea of giving Kamil Aru a third over while he was fired up. And as I mentioned, even though you may think it's sacrificing an over at the end, you've got Umaid Asif and you've got Matthew Ford as well, who will probably be the specialist death bowler. We know how good he can be towards the end of an innings.
Oh, brute of a delivery. Ramiz Raja acknowledging to Umaid Asif that, yeah, you got me with that one. Tremendous ball that time.
Chin music on display here from Umaid Asif. Iron Man fired up here at the moment. Another great delivery this.
Oh, boy, what a great delivery. Once again, threatening that outside edge. This time the angle is different. Right armor bowling to the right-hander. Having it leave. Ooh, this is hammered. This is going to be 4. This is a brilliant comeback by Ramiz Raja. Taking the bull by the horns. And that was a brutal strike. Not necessarily the most elegant of cricket shots, but the intent is what mattered.
Yeah, lovely shot indeed from Ramiz Raja. Certainly looking to continue applying that force back onto the Knight Riders. They're still going at quite a healthy run rate. Just about almost 9 runs and over. A lot of that thanks to Shajil Khan, who was back in the shade. But part of T20 cricket is to just keep your foot on the gas even though you've lost a couple of wickets, especially with a batting lineup as powerful as Kingsmen.
Not surprising that that next delivery is short. Pull to backward square for just a single, because each of these bowlers, well, then again, no bowler really likes being hit down the ground in the V, and that response was pretty predictable.
So Sad Ali coming in at number 4. Very prominent player across the country, particularly with the Kingsmen, or formerly Stallions brand. Umaid Asif enters his final delivery of his first over. Has gone for 5, started very well. The shorter back of a length deliveries have been really working.
Right-hander bowling over the wicket to the left-handed Sad Ali, so he'll be looking to slant this ball across the left-hander. Gets a little too straight this time, though. Just flicking it down to Matthew Ford, coming off the fence at deep backward square. For the first time in a very long time, an uneventful end to the over. That's the end of the power play. The score is 52 for 2. Probably Roshan.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
Okay, good, yeah. You see the over by over, the Manhattan, if you will. The 5th over is the tallest of the skyscrapers. But if you gave Kamil Aru a choice, concede 18 runs, but then take the wicket of Shajil Khan, he may well have taken that option, I think. And now Matthew Ford into the attack. You mentioned him earlier. He probably will be the one who is going to be asked to bowl at the death. But he's taking the ball here out of the power play, coming into bowl at the top of the 7th.
Yeah, Matthew Ford giving him a start now. I do think he'll probably bowl 2 or 3 at the death, especially given we saw 3 from Kamil Aru up top. Four
delivery.
top quality pacers in the arsenal here for the UMMC Knight Riders. Kamil Aru, Usman Shinwari, Umair Asif, now Matthew Ford. And the thing is, they've got the spinners as well to back them up. We haven't quite seen perhaps the best of Ali Sheikh with the ball. Mohammad Mohsin, certainly another spin option. Mehdi Hassan. And we did see Wihan Lobe quite briefly with ball as well. So lots of all-round talent in this UMMC Knight Riders, which is something we've seen in all four of the semi-final teams. Lots of all-rounders making up their squad.
You're absolutely right. And so that gives you several options if you're Captain Jaskaran Malhotra. Oh, running this one down to third. So you mentioned that Matthew Ford is let's call it the specialist death bowler. So generally bowls a very heavy ball, but also has that ability to get those Yorkers up there. With us now being outside of the power play, he has several different options. He can go full if he needs to and have protection in the deep straight, or he can use his natural pace and have the batters playing square of the wicket. That is a good run, absolutely good run there, well judged. Shy at the stumps at the non-striker's end, but Ramiz Raja make that Saad Ali's home safe.
Yeah, scampering through for a quick single. Wihan Lobe forced into action. Had he hit the stumps, would have been quite the decision to make. But in the end, a quick single to Saad Ali. All about perhaps the rotation of strike now, not trying to lose any further wickets.
There's the Yorker we talked about. What a really good Yorker. Not a lot that Ramiz Raja could do with that one. Pitching probably right on the popping crease. That's what you want from someone who's reputed to be a good death bowler.
You can take the bowler out of the death, but you can't take the death out of the bowler. Matthew Ford. And I always say to myself, if you can nail a Yorker and if you can bowl well at the death, you can bowl well at any stage of the game because of how difficult it is with batsmen looking to go.
Oh, slower bouncer. That is going to be over the top and certainly signaled as a wide. I don't mind him trying something different. You know, you don't want to be very predictable as a bowler. Matthew Ford, I think getting this one just a little wrong. Look, it lands probably closer to him than it did Ramiz Raja. And so by the time it got to Raja, it was well above his head. But, you know, you absolutely, the old two-card trick as a fast bowler is bounce a Yorker or Yorker bouncer. And I think that's what you saw there from him. Matthew Ford again. Looks for the Yorker, skies it. Runner, the fielder going back to long off, cannot get all the way back there in time. And it goes, oh, in fact, it went all the way for 6. Didn't think he got that much of it, but he obviously did. Looking to bowl that Yorker, Matthew Ford, but getting it just a little, landing it short of where he needed it to. And taking full advantage that time was Ramiz Raja.
Dealing in boundaries here a bit, Ramiz Raja. 2 4s and a 6, and he's only up to 16. Certainly when he's got them right, he's got them all the way to the fence. This time over the fence from Ramiz Raja.
There he is. There's the Yorker. And I'll tell you what, Matthew Ford did not even turn around to appeal because he knew he had his man. The slow finger of death by Owen Brown, 62 for 3. That's the end of Ramiz Raja.
Lovely delivery from Matthew Ford. And in the end, it's the downfall of Ramiz Raja. Have a look at this again. Matthew Ford, we mentioned what a quality bowler he is, can take wickets at any stage. Look at that. Simple decision. He was off to the races. He was already gone, Matthew Ford.
He literally did not even turn around. He was already celebrating. So Owen Brown may have a slight chat with him at the next break. hey, if you're going to appeal, you need to appeal to me. You can't just assume that it's going to be out. But for all intents and purposes, he was a dead duck. That is a great delivery right in the block hole. And yet another body blow landed here by the UMMC Knight Riders. That is an absolutely pivotal moment in the game. Ramiz Raja was looking dangerous, was looking to sort of start cutting loose. And Matthew Ford, after having been hit down the ground for 6, would have wanted to have some revenge. And I think he was able to get that. Now, Milind Kumar comes to the wicket. Haven't seen a whole lot of him recently, probably for the fact that, number one, these matches in the last couple of days have been 10 and 15 over games. And then number two, with the strength at the top of the lineup, they've not needed to go this deep into the lineup. So that is the end of that over, and here we go again. Umeda Sif hits the bat very hard again. Pacers doing the work, just dropping it into the offside for a single.
Milind Kumar as well, very quality player. Perhaps in a normal environment or in your average team, Milind Kumar probably slot in about number 3, but just the quality of this Kingsmen batting lineup. Martin Guptill, Shajil Khan, Ramiz Raja. How do you even consider anyone else to go into such a star-studded top 3? Throw in the likes of Saad Ali and Milind Kumar as well. And you've got a very solid depth in terms of your batting lineup.
Well, I'm going to revert to what you said again earlier with the strength of this batting lineup. The flip side of that coin is that the middle order doesn't spend as much time in the middle. I'm wondering if that's what you're seeing a little bit of here. That's a good ball outside the line of off stump. But at the toss, Captain Hamad Azam said that he was looking for a score of about 150, 160. As of right now, given the current rate, they're on pace to get to 176. But they've lost 3 big wickets, and Milind Kumar and Saad Ali are both now having to start over from scratch. So it remains to be seen whether or not they'll be able to sort of grab the bull by the horns and continue scoring at the rate of 8.59 and over. Good looking delivery, and that's played. Oh, looking for a throw at the non-strikers and the at the non-strikers end. They'll get a bit of an overthrow, and they'll run through for 2. So that's one way that you can sort of get the ball rolling again if you're new to the crease, is look for those opportunities to turn 1s into 2s.
Yeah, the running will have to be very good. The communication will have to be very good between Milind Kumar and Saad Ali and everyone else still waiting in the wings here for Kingsmen. With the field spread, a lot easier to get those 1s and 2s when the boundaries aren't flowing.
Made a Sif's 1.5 overs have cost him 9 runs already. Guess this one just a little straight and work down to deep backward square. And Shinwari down there to make sure that the damage is just limited to 1 run. So you have a plethora of bowling options. At what point do you turn to a spinner, maybe an Ali Sheikh or a Mohamed Mohsin, to say, here's the ball, let's see if there's any turn in this pitch?
I think really soon, probably perhaps the next over, the over after. For sure, you've got to try and get the spinner on. It'll be interesting to see how many of them they utilize, because as you mentioned, they've got quite a handful.
Well, you do have options. Ali Sheikh has not bowled as much as he ordinarily does, has not been called upon to bowl, probably so because of the success of the Pacers, as you mentioned. Mohamed Mohsin is always going to be somebody who is able to sort of slow down the scoring rates. And it will be interesting to see exactly how they're used. I think a lot will depend on how much spin you expect to see in this pitch. It's a very grassy pitch, so I don't know how much spin you'll be able to get from it. Good delivery, bang on target. And by bang on target, I mean that appeared to have hit Milind Kumar probably around the hip bone. That's not going to feel very good. That is the end of the over. 8 done, 66 for 3.
Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
So another over of Matthew Ford comes into the 9th over, and again, no sign of the spinners on as yet. 72 deliveries remaining into the 9th over. It's an interesting strategy, this. Bit of a miscommunication there. The throw ended up being quite off from Wihan. But let's say, had you gone with a spinner, perhaps the likes of Mohammad Mohsin, and with 4 pacers that have all had quite the success, you probably only need 1 spinner. So let's do the math. Let's say instead of Matthew Ford, you decided to go with Mohammad Mohsin to bowl the 9th over. This one should only be 1 throw at the striker's end. Well off. So let's say Mohsin was to bowl this over. He would perhaps bowl the 11th, the 13th, and the 15th. You'd probably want to get him out to save the paces towards the end, the final 5, towards the death overs. So you would have to perhaps find bowlers for the 10th, 12th, and 14th over. So it would be interesting to see, if you were to bring on the spinner, who would fill those overs in? Because I'm sure you'd probably get an over from Matthew Ford, another one from Shinwari, another one from Umair Asif, and it could perhaps dry up the resources even more towards the end. So by delaying the spinners, it will be quite interesting to see how many spinners are used and where they bowl.
Short ball again, bouncing over the top for a wide. I believe that at cover, it appears to be Mehdi Hassan who's warming up. So I would think that the answer to our question is about to be realized, because that does appear to be him sort of going through the motions of warming up. So it'll be interesting to see if that's the case, because obviously the calculation would be probably along the lines of what you just said. Okay, the paces are going to come in towards the back end. Who is going to join with the spinner to bowl those middle overs? So you're going to see, this is where the strategy comes into effect, because maybe you don't want to have a sameness about your attack. Yes, the paces are good and they're going well, but at the same time, you want to give these batters a little bit something to think about other than just, you know, being planted on the back foot looking for the short of a length delivery. Maybe have a spinner go in there to see if you want to test how well they can move down the pitch to the pitch of the ball, and sort of, you know, throw the carrot out there in that different way. So a number of different options here for Captain Jaskar and Malhotra. We'll see how he goes the rest of the way. Matthew Ford now around the wicket to the left-hander. There's the Yorker again. Boy, he broke a piece of his bat there, it appeared. Yep, the bat split. We're going to have to want to take a look at that again, because it was a Yorker length delivery, and in playing that defensive shot, a big chunk came off of that bat. These bats that these days cost, I don't know, $500 or so dollars. He's not going to be happy with that, Matt.
And I'm not sure DSC will be happy with that either. Having one of their willows take a hit. Only 8 deliveries Saad Ali has faced. And it's not as if he's been hitting them out of the park. He hasn't really been giving them quite the tap we've seen as yet. Not good signs all around, but another good delivery this from Matthew Ford. You see the replay. And there you see a small chunk of the bat flying off. But going back to the use of spin. The thing is as well, the scoring rate has dried up quite a bit since the departure of Ramiz Raja and Shajil Khan. So with two still relatively new men, perhaps it tempts you to even go with another spinner, trying to see out an over with these two still really trying to get themselves settled in. Not really a lot of pressure on the bowlers. So interesting strategy to persist with the pace this deep.
Slower delivery, that's well bowled. Very well bowled by Matthew Ford. Changing things up. He's changing both his pace as well as his length. You've seen a couple of Yorkers, one of which took a wicket, the other of which took a piece of the bat. And now you see him bowl that slower delivery. So the typical type of thinking bowler who you'd like to see bowl at the death. And now he's obviously into his second over. So perhaps you keep him back for maybe 18 and 20. That's well played. Just punched into the offside, into the onside rather. Jogging through for a single. And that should be the end of the over. Yep, the end of 9. After 9, the score is 71 for 3. Start back.
So now certainly looks as if they've heard us. Perhaps looking at the numbers, looking at the math. And we see Mohammad Mohsin being introduced into the attack. So spin for the first time coming in at around the halfway stage of the innings.
That's actually Mehdi Hassan who's about to bowl.
Mehdi Hassan, in fact, very experienced player. And again, it will be interesting to see, is he the only spinner that will be used? Because we've seen 4 very successful pacers, and if they are to bowl, that'll equal 16. And if you can get a good 4 out of Mehdi Hassan, there's your 20 overs right there. Is there the need of a 6th bowler? We'll wait and see. If so, who will it be? Saad Ali is on strike on 7.
So the left armer bowling over the wicket to the left-handed batter, Saad Ali. I think Mehdi Hassan will prefer to bowl to the right-hander, to have that ball leaving him. Any turn that is on offer would be going across the right-hander, and you see here he's bowling around the wicket to the right-handed Milind Kumar. So not surprising there. And in fact, exactly for that reason, Captain Jaskaran Malhotra bringing in a catcher for that ball that threatens the outside edge. So you have a first slip, maybe standing, maybe second slip, but he's still in the position to get that delivery or that ball that threatens the outside edge, which is exactly what you want to have happen. Both of these batters still relatively new. Milind Kumar, 5 overs or 5 balls faced already for his 4, so still relatively new to the crease. And not surprising that you're getting a little bit of an attacking mindset from Captain Jaskaran Malhotra. Fires this one through a little bit more quickly though, and a little bit straight. So that's not going to threaten the outside edge from that line.
Mehdi Hassan. Good delivery there from Milind Kumar.
Couple dot balls to start this over. So you want from Mehdi Hassan, what you want from him is the ability to keep things quiet. That scoring rate that you mentioned was up around 9. It's now all the way down to 7.61. Projecting to a score of 152, which is still a healthy score, but certainly that projection is coming down. Look at that. Oh my goodness, just a split second. That ball bouncing a little bit more than Milind Kumar was expecting, and stayed in the air for an agonizingly long time if you're Milind Kumar. Captain Jaskaran Malhotra not able to get out of his crouch in time to get that catch. Boy, just reaching for that one, not quite getting it.
Had a lot more airtime than perhaps expected there from Milind Kumar. Perhaps even maybe for Jaskaran Malhotra. Perhaps not expecting it to pop up. Could have been catchable, but as you said, Jaskaran Malhotra just couldn't get up in time. But still, nonetheless, a very fine over this from Mehdi Hassan. Has only given up 1 run and has kept the pressure on the Kingsmen batters, Milind Kumar and Saad Ali. So the spin has worked in the end. We've had to wait quite some time, but it's been worth the wait so far for Mehdi Hassan.
Completely agree with that. And so obviously we talked several times about when they're going to go to spin. So with the success of Mehdi Hassan so far, do you then consider bringing Ali Sheikh in for an over or two to see how that goes? Or is he too valuable in the field, as right now he's parked down at the hot spot, down at long off? That is 4 dot balls on the trot. This is brilliant bowling. 1 delivery remaining in the 10th over, almost at the halfway stage of the innings. 72 runs on the board. So what are we looking for the rest of the way? Right now the score projects to 146. And you're going to want, I think, to get a few more runs than that if you're the Kingsmen. But they're being stymied by some really good bowling here by the UMMC Knight Riders. And that is another dot ball. 5 dot balls in the row to close things out in the 10th. 72 for 3 after 10.
$72 for 3, just at the halfway stage. A look at the UMMC Knight Riders camp. Quite a happy camp, I think it's fair to say. I'm sure they'll be quite pleased with their bowling performance so far, having restricted the Kingsmen to 72 for 3 and dismissing the likes of Martin Guptill and Shajil Khan quite early on as Usman Shinwari returns from the opposite end.
That's interesting. So he bowled his first couple of overs from the highway end, the southern end of the ground. Now switching around and now bowling from the forest end. Bowling very quickly, of course. Much pace. And maybe the thinking is with these 2 relatively new batters. Saad Ali has only been there for 11 deliveries now. Milind Kumar 10. To see if you can knock 1 or 2 of them over and make further inroads into this middle order that, again, as we've said a couple of times already, has not yet been tested. Shinwari again. Oh, good delivery. Just dropped down. Absolutely just getting that bat down in time was Milind Kumar. And somehow getting it behind square where Mohamed Mohsin is the one who has some work to do. Interestingly, I think, we've not yet seen Mohamed Mohsin. I think there has to be some thought about bringing him in at some stage, would there not?
Certainly, especially having seen the success of Mehdi Hassan. And with the game quite winding down, you'd probably want to slip an over or 2 extra overs of spin so that way you can preserve the pace attack for towards the end. But again, if you bring on a 6 bowler with Mohamed Mohsin being it would run the risk of not having one of the 5 bowlers they've used bowling out the full 4. And the 5 bowlers they have used have all been quite successful. So if they do introduce a 6th bowler, it will be quite fascinating to see which of the starting 5 bowlers won't be getting a full 4 overs. Things have progressively gotten quieter as the innings has gone on here for Kingsmen. We saw a few fireworks from Shajil Khan, Ramiz Raja, But since then, it's been the UMMC Knight Riders putting on a very good bowling performance.
Shinwari now bowling to Milind Kumar. Milind Kumar 5 from 11. Well, that's well played, but straight to the sweeper out there in the deep. Good looking shot, but only for 1 run. So you mentioned the scoring rate that has essentially slowed down over by over for the last several. The last 5 overs, with 2 balls to come in this, the 11th over, have gone for 24 runs. So that gives you a sense of how well the bowlers have strangled the batting of the Kingsmen. And that overall run rate now down to a Houston area code 713. At 713, the rest of the way you're scoring at 143. I don't know that 143 runs will be enough. And in fact, I don't want to read too much in this. I just saw Ali Sheikh stretching. I'm wondering if he might be coming in next. Great delivery, but again defended into the mid-wicket area for a single.
The strike rotation has been quite well executed between Milind Kumar and Saad Ali. They've done well to hand things back over to each other. But what has been the problem is they haven't really got those odd boundaries here and there. Again, given they are in the process of really a rebuilding stage, it's still important to get that odd boundary and over. It's still a T20 game at the end of the day. But they've done well to at least keep the scoreboard moving. Perhaps the next step for the next few overs will be to get a few boundaries.
Oh, what a brute of a delivery. And there is the finger being raised by Owen Brown. The success from bringing Shinwari back into the attack, as that is the end of Milind Kumar, 6 from 12.
Yeah, Milind Kumar has to go. Another good delivery. The short balls have really worked here for the UMMC Knight Riders. Usman Shinwari finishing the over off in the best possible way. Look at that. Not even really much of a shot you can do with a ball like that. And Milind Kumar has to go. Great ball, produces a wicket. It's 77 for 4 after 11.
Brute of a delivery, that last one from Shinwari. And as you said, Matt, not a lot you can do with that ball. Again, that left arm angle over the wicket, slanting across you as a right-hander.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the.
7 for 4. Brilliant ball there by Shinwari to take the wicket of Milind Kumar. That left arm angle across the left-handed or across the right-handed batter is a very uncomfortable angle, and that has the batters generally in discomfort, especially with the pace at which Shinwari is bowling. So the decision that Jaskaran Malhotra made to bring back his strike bowler pays immediate rewards. 7 for 4 with just 54 balls remaining now, and Mehdi Hassan to continue. So he certainly looks like he prefers bowling to the right-handed batters. And now the new batter is Hamad Azam, the captain himself. Hamad Azam, generally somebody who can score quickly. He might want to have just a touch of circumspection about the way he approaches the innings from here, because a wicket or two here can mean that you're into the tail, which you don't want to have happen.
78 for 4 in the 12th over. Current run rate looking like a price tag, $6.99. just a tick under 7 runs and over. It's been in somewhat of a downward spiral since around the 6th or 7th over. Hamad Azam, we know he can strike a long ball, but perhaps not really the time for that as yet. Still 52 deliveries remaining. That's a long time. A longer time than a lot of batsmen may perhaps estimate.
52 deliveries. Absolute long way to go, and I don't know that running it off the face of the bat for your first, on your first delivery is the way to go here. Oh, look at this. A little bit of bite, a little bit of turn, and you hear the sound from a pretty large contingent of UMMC supporters as 2 more dot balls by Mehdi Hassan. So given the first 2 shots that were attempted, Captain Jaskar and Malhotra is now going on the attacks. There are now 2 slip fielders in position. That ball turning across the right-handers is interesting to the UMMC Knight Riders. Half-hearted appeal. I think that came off the bat, so no LBW there. But you know, the first 2 deliveries that were bowled to Hamad Azam were on the off-stump line. This one a little too straight after you brought 2 slips in position. So the idea here for Mehdi Hassan is just make sure he bowls that same line that he was bowling before. Oh, there's a good way to make an adjustment. It's going down on one knee and helping that one over to short fine leg and running down to the boundary for 4.
Well executed shot that from Hamad Azam. Pulling out all the stops. That's what they've got to do at this point, the Kingsmen. By any means necessary. Nicely played there from Hamad Azam. Very interesting way to get off the mark.
Very interesting. And again, I see him more as a big hitter than I do somebody who plays scoop shots. But you'll take runs here anywhere, any place you can get them. And so now they've immediately done away with the 2 slips. A more conventional looking field for this last ball of the over. Fired in Yorker length and defended. That is the end of the over. Couple more runs scoring this over than I think Mehdi Hassan will be comfortable with. But still the Knight Riders are in control, 82 for 4.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
So 82 for 4, 12 overs completed. The UMMC Knight Riders. Very good bowling display from them so far. Very large following as well, as we see the Carmilaroo fan club starting to make its way in the chat, as well as a large contingent in the shade of the UMMC Knight Riders. Would you say they've got very brave fans to come all the way down here to Texas in a knockout game, bringing that many people, when there is the possibility of you having to just pack up and go home after this? Very brave fans, I'll tell you that.
Brave, and these fans have full confidence in their guys. You absolutely can be sure about that. This is Matthew Ford again, back into the attack for his 3rd over. Oh, that is good running. That is hit down the ground to long on, but they still are able to sprint back for a couple.
Clearly some of that confidence off the field has diffused onto the field as well, because it's been a very good day with ball for the UMMC Knight Riders. 84 for 4. Matthew Ford, 2.1 overs, 1 for 16, would have got the wicket of Ramiz Raja into his 3rd over.
Matthew Ford with that iconic hop, step, and jump at the top of his run-up. That's pulled into the deep just for a single. So you'd have seen Matthew Ford. Do you think, or is it your opinion that he's been taken out of what he ordinarily would, out of the role that he'd ordinarily play by essentially now into this third over, we're into the 14th or 13th over. Are you thinking that they may hold one of his overs back for the death, or are they taking him out of his role completely as a death bowler?
I think certainly they've probably got to definitely hold one for the death. I would have liked, but as you mentioned, it was a late introduction for the spinners, so now they've got to keep the paces on at least from one end. Matthew Ford into his third over, only into the 13th of the innings.
Appeal for LBW. This time Owen Brown says no. So Matthew Ford once again starting to celebrate before the decision was given by Owen Brown. And this time Owen Brown says this is slipping down the leg side. Run through, a scamper through for a leg by, but not the wicket that Matthew Ford is looking for. Just taking a bit of time here. Saad Ali been there for a while, 14 from 17. And you're going to sort of try to gauge when you start to accelerate, when you start to turn or go through the gears, start looking to accelerate towards the back end of this innings. That's a great piece of fielding to his own bowling by Matthew Ford. Just 2 balls remaining now in the 13th over. So you're looking at 44 more balls to go. Don't have very many opportunities to score the rest of the way. What are you looking for here in terms of an overall rate, in terms of an overall score? Do you think the 150 is what that Hamad Azam said at the toss is what they'll be looking for? Or should they look for more than that?
Very good work there. Brilliant bit of fielding, tumbling away.
There's Naman Anwar pulling out all the stops there. Good piece of fielding. Brilliant work by Naman Anwar.
Just going back to the total, I think 145, 150 is probably a realistic estimate. Even still, the projection is scoring just under 140. Quick single there taken. 5 off the over, 87 for 4, 13 completed.
So Mehdi Hassan to continue. Both times that he started an over bowling to Saad Ali has been able to work that ball immediately for a single. So he's looked less threatening to the left-hander and more threatening to the right-handers. Let's see if that trend continues here as he starts the 14th over. Saad Ali looking to take the attack to Mehdi Hassan. Picks up Wian Luby on the boundary. Well, by picking him out, I don't mean it was a catch. Obviously, it bounced first, but Wian Luby placed exactly. Looking to sweep, missing out on the attempted sweep shot. Then clean piece of stumping attempted, in fact completed by Jaskar Malhotra, but foot firmly inside the crease there for Hamad Azam.
88 on the board, 6.6 exactly and over, 40 deliveries remain.
Skied in the air, stays in the air for a very long time. Boy, that is dropped. Absolutely a drop. You're going to want to have to complete those catches. It was in the air for a very long time. And the fielder appears to have hurt himself, taking his time getting up. Didn't see exactly what happened down there, but that ball was in the air a long time. Matt, you would think that would have been taken.
Yeah, Usman Shinwari running around. Seemed to maybe just lose his balance a little bit there at the last split second. Just out of reach. Been a few drop chances now in the field for the UMMC Knight Riders. Could have had the big wicket of Hamad Azam. Instead, it's a single to get Saad Ali back on strike.
That is a huge development in the context of this game. You want to make further inroads into this batting side. 89 for 4. You would have preferred for that to be 88 for 5. Hamad Azam, as I said earlier, can score quickly, and certainly somebody you'd want to see the back of. Pulled into the deep. That is Carmel Aru. That's an all left-handers piece of cricket. Left-hander bowling it, left-hander playing that pull shot, and fielded on the boundary by the left-handed Carmel Aru. So more to the point, that dropped catch I think is significant for a number of ways. Number one, Hamad Azam keeps batting. Number two, the injury that appears to have been incurred by Shinwari is to his left shoulder, his bowling shoulder. So if he cannot bowl his last over, that could have an impact on the game the rest of the way. Split second there. Looked to have been, almost thought that was going to be called a wide, but changing his mind at the last minute. In fact, it was not a wide. Aditya Gajjar was signaling to Owen Brown that there were just 2 balls left. Make that 1 ball left. My apologies. So the scoring rate, yes, absolutely on the way down, and has been on the way down for a number of overs. Now down to 6.51, projected currently for 130. That is outside the line of off. No shot offered by Hamad Azam. That is the end of 14. The score is 90 for 4. Oh, my apologies. 1 more ball. My apologies. So 90 for 4 with 1 more ball to go. Mehdi Hassan has bowled very well so far in his spell. Oh, what is this? What happens here? Half-hearted appeal. I think that ball turned and kissed off of, certainly came off of the pad and collected at slip. But I think the appeal was going to be for a catch, and not given, not out. And that is the end of the over. 90 for 4, 91 for 4. $91 for 4. Once again, we're pleased to bring this action of the DAFA News Houston Open 2023. This is a semifinal matchup between the number 2 team, Kingsmen, and the number 3 team, the UMMC Knight Riders. Knight Riders, after having won the toss, choosing to bowl. Captain Jaskaran Malhotra was of the opinion that it would be easier to bat later on. And 91 for 4. Consistent blows being landed in terms of the impact of the bowling attack by UMMC. And this is a good sign for me because Shinwari has the ball in hand, so he's going to be bowling his last over. So he suffered an injury diving, attempting to take the catch in the last over that he dropped, but he's well enough to bowl here his last over, bowling to Saad Ali. in the air. That is a catchable opportunity. No. Had Matthew Ford been about, in fact, that's not Matthew Ford. That's fielder down there on the boundary. Had he been about maybe 10 feet taller, he might have been able to get that. But it's 6.
Yeah, lovely shot from Saad Ali. Much needed one that for him. Gets him up to exactly run a ball, and that's exactly a shot that the Kingsmen would love to see. Hopefully get some momentum flowing throughout the rest of this innings. 35 deliveries remaining, just under 6 overs. If they get about 6 runs, and if they get about 10 runs and over from the final 6, it'll get them to about 150 or so. We mentioned probably 160 would be about par with the surface, the way it's been playing before the game.
This is Shinwari again. I don't know what you thought about that first delivery. To me, it appeared that he did not bowl as quickly as he bowled the first 3. So I'm wondering if that shoulder in some ways is a concern or is preventing him from bowling. Now, I will say that that second delivery in this over did appear to have a similar amount of pace, but that first ball was just sort of a hit-me ball. I'm wondering whether or not that injury is going to be bothering him at all. But he cannot worry about that now. Just needs to power through it. As you mentioned, Matt, just not very many deliveries left. 34 deliveries left. Short and hammered down the ground. The big gap between long on and mid wicket. And that allows them to get a couple.
Yeah, certainly seeing a lot more intent now shown by Saad Ali. Looking to score a lot more at this stage of the game. You have to. Really slacked off in terms of their scoring rate now. They were looking to make up for it and more in the final 33 deliveries.
So 1 away from the 100. With 3 deliveries remaining here in the 15th over. Very full, and that brings up the 100. Looking for the Yorker, but over pitching it just a touch. And just keep an eye on Shinwari, because again, moving very gingerly, and I am wondering if there was that little bit of an injury that might have been preventing him from being at his best here with 2 balls to go in his final over. $100 up on the board is always a good psychological barrier to have crossed. And now with just 2 balls remaining, let's see what Shinwari can do. You're going to want to make sure that there is just, you're restricting both of these batters.
And 1 ball still to go. This has already been quite a successful over for Kingsmen. Any over that's going for 10 with an average run rate of about 6.8 is always a good achievement, especially still a delivery to go. Saad Ali perhaps now starting to find a little momentum, starting to get things off the middle. Usman Shinwari, final ball of his semi-final. 3.5 overs, 1 for 28. Still a fairly good day for him.
So that is a dot ball to end things here. That's the end of the spell for Shinwari. Bowled well. So at the end of 15, the score is 101 for 4.
101 for 4 on the board. We enter the final 5 overs, and we've seen in the modern T20 game, particularly in the last 2 or 3 years or so, the final 5 overs can really make or break a game. And for the Kingsmen, it'll be all about, can they get around 50, perhaps, to get the 155, 160 of these final 5 overs. Hamad Azam on strike. Umair Asif returns.
Oh, did not get that away the way that he wanted to, but he's able to get a single. That came off the Q end of the bat, it appears. Had he been able to make good contact with that, that may well have flown over the fence at deep backward square. So I'll tell you, Umair Asif might consider himself lucky that that ball did not meet the full meat of Hamad Azam's bat.
Saad Ali on strike on 26. They've put on a partnership of 25. It's been a runner ball 25. They'll be looking to certainly up that. Still the likes of Harmeet Singh. I'm sure we'll probably be seeing him next. A clinical 6-hitter as well.
Sliced away, catchable, and taken. That is a good, a well-judged catch in the deep. And that is going to be the end of Saad Ali, who had been fighting, but he ends his innings here with 26 from 28. The Kingsmen are 102 for 5.
Flashed the blade at it, Saad Ali. Didn't get all of it. And Umair Asif back into the attack and picks up a wicket in just his second ball. Looking to go inside out. And in the end, good catch taken in the deep. Saad Ali falls, breaks the partnership. 102 for 5.
That's a really good looking catch, well-judged catch. You know, never easy when that ball comes off of the edge of the bat because it's spinning a lot. So you have to be aware of that spin because it makes the ball a little bit more difficult to catch. And just as you predicted, Matt, it is one left-hander who's replacing another. The 6-hitting machine, Harmeet Singh.
Harmeet Singh will not really have much time to get himself in. I don't think he really needs it, a player like Harmeet Singh. Tends to get going very quickly. 28 deliveries remaining, 102 for 5 on the board. Half the side dismissed. And if you're the Kingsmen, I'm pretty sure you'd want Harmeet Singh and Hamad Azam to bat out these 28 overs amongst themselves. The two that can really maximize it from here on out.
Bang, there he goes. That's going to be 4. Plants that front foot, plays it through the line. Harmeet Singh is an extremely aggressive batter under normal circumstances. And only 28 balls remaining. First one that he sees, he absolutely blasted away for 4.
Well, I just said it. I don't think he needs a long time to get going. Right away, first ball. Driving hard and away it goes for 4. So Harmeet Singh coming out with exactly the right mentality needed at this stage for the Kingsmen to rescue this innings.
Great delivery by Umair Asif. That's a good comeback. I think it's fair to say he got that first delivery too full. It was outside the line of off and with mid-off inside the circle. As Mohamed Mohsin, all he had to do is just get the ball wide of him and have it run away for 4. This time, with the field that he has set, that delivery that he just bowled is the one that you expect. Short of length and slanting across the left-handed Harmeet Singh. So what does Harmeet Singh have in store? Very open stance, ready for the right-hander. Looking to whip this away over the leg side. You hear the yell by Jaskaran Malhotra, oohs and ahs from the rest of the teammates that may have just shaved the off stump.
Still a very good over this from Umair Asif, the wicket of Saad Ali. Even though he did see a boundary, other than that, it's been quite tidy.
Made a safe last ball of his third over. Short. Outside off. No wide ball given. I think Hamid might have been expecting one, but not rewarded as such. That's the end of the over. Successful one for Made a Sif. At the end of 16, the score is 106 for 5.
Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
So this is interesting. 4 overs to go. Matthew Ford will be bowling out by the looks of things. 3 overs for 18 with the wicket of Ramiz Raja. Still an over to go from Mehdi Hassan, who would have bowled the 14th over. So not seeing him getting a change of ends, so perhaps taking a risk, bowling the spinner, leaving the spinner that late, especially with Harmeet Singh and Hamad Azam out in the middle. Matthew Ford getting the honours of bowling the 17th.
What you do not want if you are the Kingsmen, make that if you're the Knight Riders, is for Mehdi Hassan to be bowling to Harmeet Singh. Left arm finger spinner to a 6-hitting left-handed batter. That is a recipe for disaster. Yorker, good looking delivery, but well dug out by Hamad Azam down the ground. Coming back for wanted the second one, but not exactly there. That's interesting. I think you and I were both expecting Matthew Ford's last over to come much later in this innings. This is over number 17. And I would have expected him to bowl either 19 or 20. So I think you're right. Carmelaru has 1 left. Usman Shinwari is done. Ahmed Asif has 1. So let's say those bowl 18 and 19. You're going to have to get an over from somebody else. It'll be interesting to see if that somebody else is Mehdi Hassan, or potentially it could be Mohamed Mohsen. I think a left-hander bowling spin to Harmeet Singh could go very, very badly for the Knight Riders. Slower delivery. That's well bowled, but well negotiated by Harmeet Singh, and they pinch a single. So in all seriousness, where does that last over come from? I'm really curious, and I'm wanting to see. I'd have to think that it would have to be Mehdi Hassan, just based on the fact that you would not want to introduce a brand new bowler at this stage of the innings. But boy, you really taking a chance bringing the spinner in this late. Oh, that is hammered away for 6, well over the top of backward square. Big 6 to Hamad Azam.
Yeah, big shot that. Too far down the leg side on that occasion for Matthew Ford. Looking for any bad delivery to bounce on, to pounce on at this stage. Matthew Ford, not the best of deliveries from him. And Hamad Azam makes no mistake in putting that one away.
Well, it was certainly too straight. I'll say more about that after this delivery. Slower delivery, and he overcorrects this time. Too far outside off stump, so that's a wide. So what I started saying is that it was straight. It was speared in at leg stump. But then Hamad Azam made it into a worse delivery by walking across his stumps. And so by the time the ball got to him, he essentially was able to help it down the leg side on a ball that very honestly could have been targeting leg stump. But the fact that he moved all the way across gave him the leverage to be able to lop that over the leg side. Consecutive wide balls. This one is now too high, bouncing too high for the liking of umpire Aditya Gajar at square leg. And umpire Owen Brown also emphasizing the fact to the bowler that is the one for the over. So the run rate picking up slightly. Already 10 from this over with 3 to come. 21 balls remaining in this innings. Current score of 116 means that that score projects to be 141. So you're looking for something in the area of a 155-60. In order to get there, you'd have to go at 12. It's essentially two from every ball here on out gets you to 158. Sliced away into the deep, that goes away for 6. What a huge, in fact, I might have disrespected that shot by saying it was a slice. It was off the middle of the bat, flying over the top of long off for 6.
Huge hit that indeed from Hamad Azam. Have another look at this on the replay. Certainly got quite a bit on that, more than a slice on it.
Yeah.
And right away, I don't think there was much hesitation. Already summoning the third umpire to wait with the replacement balls. Huge hit that from Hamad Azam.
Oh my goodness. I said much earlier that he can score quickly. Well, this is what I'm referring to. He's an absolutely brutal striker of the ball. And he was very circumspect when he came in initially, bearing in mind he was dropped much earlier. So that certainly would figure into the analysis where we are right now. But that big 6 puts you at 122 for 5. A bit of a delay, as you mentioned, while the third umpire, Sandeep Gundalekar, takes the box of balls out there, because I don't think you're going to get this ball back. That one was hit absolutely far. We've seen a few 6s today. That might have been the biggest 6 of them all. And Hamad Azam now up to 20 from 15. Once again, starting out very slowly, but appears to be accelerating towards the back end of this innings like you would want to, leading from the front as captain. So Matthew Ford has some thinking to do here. 16 runs from this over already, a couple of 6s, and effectively his last legal delivery went for 8 runs because he bowled 2 wides before that. So he's bowled very good Yorkers in the first in his first few overs. I would suspect that that would be one of the better deliveries that he can bowl here. Goes short, and it goes for 6 more. Boy, this is going to be a really expensive over. So far, I think the most expensive over of the innings. 22 coming from it. And boy, I don't think, Matthew, that there's anything wrong with a good Yorker on leg stump.
Yeah, Matthew Ford has just probably got to try stick to the basics here. Another not so great delivery. Again, not helped by the fact of Hamad Azam shuffling across, making these pickup shots very easy and having the power and the timing to get hold of them and to send them all the way. An over to certainly look back on for both sides as a over that could change the complexion of this match.
Last delivery, slower delivery. And played down to backward point for a single. So a very expensive over, and not what Matthew Ford was looking for. He's done his figures for the day. 4 overs, 1 for 41. And at the end of 17, the score is 129 for 5.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
$129 for 5, and my goodness, this is now going to be Hamad Azam bowling or facing Mehdi Hassan. And Hamad Azam has shown, as he got the majority of those runs from that last over, 23 of them, that he can hit big. But the bigger concern for me is when Harmeet Singh comes on strike to the left-hander, because that has ugly written all over it if you're the UMMC Knight Riders. So the 18th over will be bowled by Mehdi Hassan, and then you would think that the 19th and 20th would be bowled by Carmel Rue. And Umeda Sif. Oh, first delivery, just hit me ball, full toss down the leg side. 1 ball, 6 runs, and this is not working out, I don't think, the way that Captain Jaskar and Malhotra drew it up.
Yeah, Hamad Azam really starting to find his groove now. We've seen him, we saw him play that shot, already got a 4, now he's got even better, he's got a 6 off it. And perhaps now looking at Mehdi Hassan and thinking, this is the over we'll try to target, as if they didn't target Matthew Ford getting 23 off of it. Now they'll be looking perhaps certainly to Mehdi Hassan, already under some pressure with a 6 off the first ball. And things have really started to change here for the Kingsmen towards the end of this innings.
29 runs, Matthew, have come from the last 7 deliveries. This is absolutely brutal striking of the ball by Hamad Azam. Fine leg inside the circle, but it doesn't matter where fine leg is or where any of the other fielders are if you keep bowling full tosses to Hamad Azam, because he will hurt you. Mehdi Hassan is going to have to go back to what he does best, getting that ball outside off stump. It's a good line, but it's glanced away down the legs or wide of third, and it runs away for 4 more.
Lovely shot all along the ground. Placement that time from Hamad Azam. Look at this, so elegantly, so simple. Finding the gap, and then the outfield did the rest. Runs away for 4.
Goodness, he's a brutal striker of the ball, but when he can show that he can play those types of shots, then he becomes that much more dangerous as a batter. So now 33 from the last 8. Absolute carnage here all of a sudden from the Kingsmen. Bang! High in the air, but how far does it get? We'll take some catching. And the catch is taken. That is an absolutely lovely catch. He had all day to think about it. Stayed in the air forever. But the catch taken, clean catch. That is the end of Hamad Azam. And the end of a brilliant innings for the captain. But that is the 6th wicket down. The score is 139 for 6.
Really good catch there taken in the deep. Chaitanya Bishnoi, the man out there. And it's the end of Hamad Azam looking to go big. May have misjudged it a bit. Chaitanya Bishnoi was running back and then had to run back in. Held on in the end. We saw a few drop catches, but that one certainly a big catch. And a big wicket for from Chaitanya Bishnoi. 139 for 6 as Hamad goes for 37.
Boy, that ball stayed in the air for an eternity. Absolutely stayed up there for a long time. And when it is in the air that long, you have a long time to think about it. And sometimes that means that you end up overthinking where you need to be. Plus, it's a little bit windy today, and so that ball would have been swirling around a little bit. All of those things to consider in determining how good a catch that was from Chaitanya Bishnoi. Wrapped on pad, first ball, not given.
I think it's Anwar Ali. New man in. Right away appealing for him first ball. Perhaps is trying to intimidate him, putting some pressure on him. Already knowing that the UMMC Knight Riders perhaps back in this game, feeling a lot more confident after the dismissal of Hamad Azam.
Next delivery, played into the mid-wicket area. Potential run-out opportunity. Good for him for not make that throw, because it very much could have been an overthrow. But Anwar Ali off the mark. And now over to the matchup that I was looking for, with Harmeet Singh facing Mehdi Hassan. This is going to be, I think, a tricky matchup for Mehdi Hassan. Harmeet Singh is an absolute belter of the cricket ball, and And it's the type of delivery with the ball slanting into him by the left-hander that could end up right here in front of us. He's headed in that direction. Skyer, and nobody's going to get there. Lands in no man's land. Harmeet Singh definitely trying to give you and me catch and practice, Matt, but the ball didn't exactly carry that far. So that is the end of the over. A successful one despite what we thought and despite the way it started out. 141 for 6 is the score at the end of 18. So we have interchangeable parts, and if I didn't say what I'm about to say, you would not know that there was any change whatsoever. Matthew Achaibar has taken a break, and he's being replaced. We've gone to the bullpen in baseball terms by his father, Lenny Achaibar. Good afternoon, Lenny.
Thank you, Brian. It's 141 for 6. Carmela Rue gets another ball. A couple of overs remaining, so 12 balls remaining. And the psychological figure, Brian, of getting to 150 mark will be a good one here for the Kingsmen.
Oh, my goodness. They have scored heavily in the last couple of overs. 35 runs from the last two, including 23 from Matthew Ford's last over. The main culprit was Hamad Azam, but he has been dismissed. And this is a luscious matchup. A six-hitter, Harmeet Singh, versus a brilliant pace bowler, Carmela Rue.
So 2 for 31 so far. Would have picked up the wicket of Martin Guptill. The big one of Shajil Khan and Martin Guptill. And this one he's trying to break free Harmeet Khan. And no wonder why when 11 balls remaining. You've got to give it a go. There's still like 4 wickets to come here.
Well, you have to give it a go. You can't afford to rest on your laurels. 142 is a decent score, but I don't think anywhere near what you were looking for when you won the toss or when you were asked to bat by Hamad Azam. So I would think 160 would have been what they would have been targeting. So the work is by no means done. Anwar Ali coming in at number 8. I think his job now is going to be to get the strike to Harmeet Singh.
And T20 cricket has always been play and a miss. So good quality delivery here from Carmela Rue. He continues to bowl well. 2 for 31, in fact 2 for 32 at the present time. And we made the point. He picked up the wicket of Shajil Khan and Martin Guptill. And we always want bowler to be among the wickets. But when you look at the quality of those two players, he essentially sent the openers back to the shade. Oh, lofted, high in the air. Fielder is settling onto this one. And he takes a well-judged catch. Had to wait a long time. Anwar Ali goes. It's 142 for 7.
You would never expect for Ali Sheikh to drop that one. In fact, when the ball went in the air, if I were the batter, I would have already started walking because Ali Sheikh, for my money, I've said this a few times this weekend, Lenny, the best fielder in this entire tournament, Skyer, but he judges it perfectly, calm and cool as a cucumber, and just pouches it. Absolutely straightforward catch for him. That's not going to present any issues. So that is the end of Anwar Ali. The 7th wicket goes down, 142 for 3. 4 for 3 for 7. I said 3 because that's the 3rd wicket being taken by Carmela Rue. The Carmela Rue fan club in the chat section is going crazy as we speak.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
So Lenny Hassan Khan is the new batter. I said earlier that I thought that what Anwar Ali would have wanted or tried to do was to get the strike to Harmeet Singh, who is a renowned 6-hitter and who is currently standing at the non-striker's end. I don't know that that's not what you want to do here, even though it's not going to be easy to hit 6s against Carmela Rue, but you want to get your best batters in the position to where they can do most damage. And for me, I would have been looking for a single that time if I were Anwar Ali.
So 9 balls remaining. Carmel Leroux has at least 3. And then we'll have to wait and see who comes up with the final over. Hassan Khan comes out here. And so they're going over 7 runs and over. And Brian, you get the feeling 150 and 160 could be a very good score in conditions here. This one into the offside. They're always going to run quite aggressively. And so the strike hands over to Harmeet Singh.
Harmeet Singh on strike. For me, this is going to be a really interesting matchup. Good piece of fielding, by the way, by Norman Anwar, who's throwing his body around today, much more so than he ordinarily does. And I will tell you that this is going to be an interesting matchup.
And you look at Harmeet Singh, Brian, and we've always heard the fact that Unmuk Chan would have been in the 2012 on the 19 World Cup in Australia, in which he got 100, Unmuk Chan, but a lot of people don't know that Harmeet Singh and Smith Patel was also part of that squad. And they're both playing in this tournament. Harmeet Singh looking for a couple of runs here, but we've seen very good fielding from UMMC Knight Riders so far.
No question. So Carmel Leroux doing an excellent job pulling the scoring rate back. I mentioned 35 runs had come from the last 2 overs. Well, 1 ball remaining in this over. Carmel Leroux has only conceded 3 runs and he's taken a wicket. This is excellent bowling. Exactly what you want from your premier strike bowler in this situation. And in fact, now bringing Mohamed Mohsin into the circle, I'm thinking something full and straight, Lenny.
So 3 wickets for Carmel Leroux. Playing a miss. Advancing down the track slightly from Hassan Khan. Doesn't go too well. And the ball goes through to Jaskran Malhotra. So the 19th over comes to a close. It's 144 for 7.
So as expected here, Lenny, Umaid Asif is the man who's being asked to bowl the last over, and he's going to be bowling it to Harmeet Singh.
Yeah, good man to finish. 3 overs, no made 1 for 16. Would have picked up the wicket of Saad Ali. And so many bowling options. I heard you and Matthew discussing the puzzle to fit. And the option was quite a few to choose from. Asif gets the last one. Oh, top edged in over the keeper's head. And luckily for the fielding team, only a single.
Oh my goodness. Brilliant piece of fielding down there at deep third. And just 1 run. Any ball that you can bowl at this stage of the innings where you only concede a single is a bonus for you.
So they want to get to that psychological figure of 150. And I'm pretty sure that they will get there, Brian, with 5 balls remaining. It will be an underperforming last over if they don't get to 150. Not to say Umaid as if he's not a quality bowler. He comes into Hassan Khan. And Khan goes for a ramp. Doesn't go too well, and the ball goes through to Jaskran Malhotra.
Yeah, going for the ramp there. I hate to sound like a broken record. I want Harmeet Singh on strike. And that might be what Harmeet Singh is telling him right now. My goodness, I'm here, I'm a 6-hitter, I want the strike. But, you know, it's not easy to play ramp shots ordinarily. Obviously, by definition, they're premeditated. And you're certainly not going to have any ease doing it against someone with the pace of an Umaid Asif.
It will be a disappointment also if they do not get to 150. Oh, playing a miss, and that's a good delivery from Asif. Lot of pace, back of a length ball, and it goes through to the keeper. Very good bowling from this man.
Oh, goodness, he is bowling gas, as they say. Look at this delivery. Digging it in short and absolutely fizzing past the helmet. He was about a week late on that pull shot, Hassan Khan. Not able to get anything going on it.
So the short ball, when employed by very good fast bowler, it becomes a restrictive delivery. And we have seen from time to time, Brian, it is also a wicket-taking delivery. Asif runs in with 3 balls remaining to Hassan Khan. And Khan again, a little bit slower ball, making some bit of height. And Umaid Asif is giving an exhibition here. In fact, wide is the call. And so a chance for them still to get to 150.
Yeah, I agree that the short ball can be used as a wicket-taking delivery. But if that's the case, and especially since the last several attempted hooks have been missed, I would have had my deep backward square leg at deep fine leg. So maybe dropping that fielder who's inside the circle at fine leg back on the boundary, because if any short ball takes the edge, it is flying well over the top of that man inside the circle. But yes, this certainly is an option, and his advantage is not only his pace but his height. So he gets good bounce. But if you overdo it, or if you don't exactly get it right, then you get a wide, or you certainly can go for runs.
So 3 balls remaining. Into the offside, no elevation. We'll only get a single, and now brings Harmeet Singh.
Oh, look at that. Look at that brilliant piece of fielding. A pickup at mid-wicket, and he was on the circle of field and throws from there, direct hit. And that is a brilliant, brilliant piece of work. Direct hit, almost just a casual attempt to get back to the inside the crease by the batter, Hassan Khan. And a direct hit sees the back of him. 146 for 8.
So the brilliance of Nitish Kumar, Canadian international. Hassan Khan is gone, and Samit Gul comes in with a couple of balls remaining. It's still 146. And in fact, Harmeet Singh is the man on strike. So 2 balls remaining here is Umaid Asif. And Harmeet will get a single out towards square leg. So they have really struggled to get runs in this over. And Brian, that 150 is still a restrictive one here for the UMMC Knight Riders. And they'll be delighted how this over's gone. 3 runs in this over so far.
Boy, 3 runs in the over, but they're absolutely going to think that they would have wanted more than that. And just 1 ball remaining. Make that 2 balls remaining. So by my count, 1 ball, but we'll see exactly what that is. Either way, the score is 146 for 8.
So Samin Gul on strike. Playing a miss, realizing they'll run. And so the innings comes to a close. It's 147 at the end of 20.
That is a brilliant piece of awareness. Of course, you have nothing to lose under those circumstances. And so they end up scampering through for a bye. The underhanded throw from wicketkeeper, captain Jaskaran Malhotra misses the stumps. And so they get that bonus run at the end. But it does mean that I think after having been put into bat and looking for something in the range of 150 to 160, the Kingsmen would be disappointed to have not gotten there. Top scorer in your innings is Hamad Azam, 37 from 20, well supported by Shajil Khan, 35 from 14. And Saad Ali chipping in with 26, but good bowling generally, and especially from the pace bowlers with a handful of exceptions. The bowlers from the top, led by Carmel Aru, 4 overs, 3 for 34. 1 wicket each for Usman Shinwari, Umaid Asif, Matthew Ford, and Mehdi Hassan. So that does mean that in order to advance into the finals, the UMMC Knight Riders are going to have to score 149 runs, just short of 150. So coming up toward a short break here, because at the end of where we are right now, at the end of the next 20 overs, we will have a representative for the finals. Will it be the Kingsmen or will it be UMMC? Join us in the next 15 minutes for the answer to that question. Complex. This is a semifinal matchup between the Kingsmen and the UMMC Knight Riders as part of the Daffy News Houston Open 2023. UMMC Knight Riders won the toss and elected to bowl, which I think was a fair decision and one that probably either captain would have made with a bit of moisture around. So the Kingsmen, I think, bowled very well and the UMMC Knight Riders bowled very well and held the Kingsmen to, I think, a slightly below par 148 for 8. Good bowling, good fielding, good catching all the way around. That yielded, I think, again, a slightly below par score. But bearing in mind that we are looking at runs in a semifinal, so a 148 in a semifinal, Matthew Tribar, is kind of similar to about 165, 170 in a group stages match. So this one is by no means over.
Yeah, I'm sure the Kingsmen will probably look at this total and say it's maybe 15, 20 short of where we ideally would have liked. But they did get quite a bit of momentum towards the end of that innings. Hamad Azam played quite a good hand. And as you mentioned, if they get a couple of wickets, particularly if they can dislodge this opening pair quite early, Jaskran Malhotra and Nauman Anwar have been two very dominant players for the UMMC Knight Riders. They can definitely get a wicket or two early on. It'll be a much different game, a much closer game than you would perhaps look at compared with just the raw numbers of 148 to win in 20.
So Anwar Ali is the man with the new ball in his hand. And he'll be bowling to Nauman Anwar. Nauman Anwar, very aggressive batter. And then at the other end is Jaskran Malhotra. And if you were with us 2 days ago, you will see exactly how destructive this opening pair can be. So here we go. Anwar Ali to Nauman Anwar. Bit of excitement from that first delivery, but ends up just being a dot ball. That might have come off of, I think that might have been a signal that came off maybe the body. Not exactly sure, but either way, it's a dot ball to start with here, Matt.
Anwar to Anwar, Anwar Ali to Nauman Anwar. Good start this from Anwar Ali. Very crucial opening partnership this, as we mentioned, for the UMMC Knight Riders.
Good delivery, bang on target. The pace bowler's stock type of delivery, just short of length, defended into the offside. So a couple of men outside the circle, of course. During the power play, you can only have two outside. There's a deep third and a deep backward square leg. So at some point, you can expect something short from Anwar Ali. Drums beating in the background as Anwar Ali comes in again, and this is whipped around the corner. 3 dot balls to start with. This is good bowling by Anwar Ali. If you're looking to restrict the team after having put a below par score up there yourself, what you need is good bowling, restrictive type of bowling, and that's what you've had so far from the first 3 deliveries.
Yeah, Anwar Ali has been very steady. Very good start from him. 148, not a lot of runs on the board, 7.5 and over, but we saw, especially with the way the conditions are, and as powerful as this Kingsmen bowling lineup is, not going to be a walk in the park.
Wow, 4 dot balls on the trot. So you came into this innings looking for 149 runs. That required a rate sneaking upwards now to 7.71, so you're needing around 8 runs and over. So immediately you're going to start feeling some pressure. But of course, this pair can put runs on the board very, very quickly. Spoken about the 6 hitting prowess of Jaskran Malhotra, and Nauman Anwar, no less accomplished, the hitter of the cricket ball. have a maiden in store in the first over of the second innings of the semifinals. Just one ball remaining now. And Anwar Ali generally has been bang on target on that off-stump line. Had one that went down the leg side, but it was fielded at short, fine leg. Everything else has been on that that line, that off-stump line that has had Norman Anwar jumping up onto his toes and playing defensively.
One away from a maiden over this from Anwar Ali.
Flash and a miss, and we do have a maiden over. Tremendous start to the innings with the ball by Anwar Ali. No score after one. So one over bowled, excuse me, no score on the ground, on the board. And Samin Gul with the new ball in hand from the highway end. So more pace. You see the Pacers in the first innings had tremendous success. And now the pace bowling so far in the second innings, one over ball by Anwar Ali is a maiden. And Samin Gul looking to continue to apply that similar type of pressure.
Samin Gul, a very talented pacer. Bowling to Jaskaran Malhotra. How good has Malhotra been throughout this competition?
Ooh. Brutal delivery, appeal for a catch, and gone. Oh my goodness. What a brute of a delivery. Short, aimed at the throat, fended awkwardly by Jaskaran Malhotra. I think it came off his glove and ballooned up into the air. Ramiz Raja taking the simplest of catches. And still no runs on the board and 1 wicket down. They have cut the head off the snake. The captain departs. And all of a sudden, the UMMC Knight Riders are in trouble.
Huge breakthrough that. Samin Gul, the man with the golden arm, going short on Jaskaran Malhotra. Perhaps taking evasive action, but it was just too close to the body. Couldn't get out of the way. The first wicket goes down. It's none for one.
Well, we talked about how good this pair has been. And the fact is that they've batted so well, maybe similar in some ways to the Kingsmen's lineup, that as well as they've batted at the top of the order, Norman Anwar and Jaskaran Malhotra, that in some ways the middle order hasn't had the opportunity to get much match practice. Well, they're probably going to be in the position where they're going to have to bat long and bat well here, because still no runs on the board, and the captain has had to walk back after having been dismissed.
First wicket goes down a lot earlier than expected here for the UMMC Knight Riders, but exactly the wicket Kingsmen were hoping to pick up early. Jaskaran Malhotra falls first ball, and it brings Wihan Lubi out to the middle. Player that would have experience at the highest level for South Africa briefly. 148 on the board. Malhotra is gone, so different approach needed here for the UMMC Knight Riders. Now Malanwa is still out in the middle. He has been quite consistent as well, but just without the name Jaskaran Malhotra, both in physical form and in mental form. Could you imagine what that must do for the confidence of every man out on the field there for Kingsmen, seeing the back of Jaskaran Malhotra?
It feels very similar in terms of impact on the game to what the dismissal of Martin Guptill had. So you have a big-time player, somebody, both of whom played international cricket. Of course, New Zealand is where Martin Guptill featured, and then Jaskaran representing the U.S. for all those years. And so somebody who has that stature, if you knock them over cheaply, that really does buoy the confidence of everybody in the side. And what that does is make you think that you have already gotten one big wicket, and that gives you the opportunity to get more. And more to the point, if the person who you knock over is the captain as well as one of the leading batters. I mentioned it earlier. You get the sense that you cut the head off the snake. That's sort of exactly what happens here. So Samin Gul down bowling to Wihan Lubi. Right arm over the wicket. Oh, what a great delivery. The pace bowlers have had a lot of success so far in the first 20 overs of this match and then the first 2 overs of this inning so far.
Very good start here from Samin Gul, picking up right where Anwar Ali left off. Hasn't given up a run as yet. 8 balls in. Seen a wicket. No runs as yet for the UMMC Knight Riders. Rehan Lubi, I'm sure they'll be expecting a big performance from him with the departure of Jaskran Malhotra. Someone will have to fill those big shoes of his.
Great delivery again, going past the outside edge. I've mentioned it a couple times already today, that angle, whether it be the left armor bowling across, slanting across the right-hander, or in this case, the right-hander slanting it across the left-hander. That angle is a really precious one if you have the ability to do that, and if you can land it on that line consistently, that's exactly what you need to do. So Wihan Lubi, haven't seen a whole lot of him, but as you mentioned, somebody who comes with a lot of experience, played very high-level cricket at the highest level for South Africa, and you're going to expect that he can be somebody who can steer the ship in the right direction for the Knight Riders. Looks for the pull, not able to get it. So another dot ball. Can you believe it? We are 10 deliveries into this innings, and we still do not have a run on the board.
Speaks to the level of bowling on display here from Kingsmen. First Anwar Ali and now Samin Gul. Samin Gul gets 2 dot deliveries. You would have to say his maiden is even better with the wicket of Jaskran Malhotra, but still 2 deliveries to go.
It's going to be a leg by, I believe. Gets off. In fact, that is a leg by signal by umpire Aditya Gajar, and the first run is on the board in the most unconvincing of ways, because the Knight Riders are struggling to get the ball off the square. And Naman Anwar, a lot falls on his shoulders because, again, aggressive at the top of the order ordinarily, but he has been tied down so far from the 6 balls that he's faced, none for 6. And then certainly the first ball that he's going to be facing now from a very good and a very fired up Samin Gul.
Still a maiden on the cards here. Leg by, of course, doesn't get credited to the bowler's figures. So still something to bowl for here for Samin Gul if he can restrain Nauman Anwar.
My goodness, he did not just restrain him, he absolutely hit him with another short ball. Nauman Anwar has been shaken up, but it does turn out to be a dot ball. Look at this delivery when we get the chance. Uncomfortable delivery from the first ball and the last ball of Samin Gul's first over. He disturbs the captain, in fact dismisses the captain, and dismisses and disturbs his opening partner. Short and just into the shoulders or chest area is what it looks like. Very uncomfortable delivery to start with here. 2 overs up, the score is 1 for 1. Boy, just looking at that replay again, Matt, that ball came in off the seam. It was probably on a 4th stump line, and it pitched and jagged back sharply into Nauman Anwar and took him awkwardly on the chest. So that is a brute of a delivery to face after 2 overs. The job is all of a sudden getting harder. Required rate now above 8, Matt. So keep an eye on that because it's a measure of the amount of accuracy that you're seeing from these two opening bowlers. Anwar Ali, who is now into the attack for his second over, and Samir Gul, who just bowled an absolutely brutal, and as you pointed out, maiden over because that extra doesn't count against his figures. So wicket maiden to start with is an excellent way of starting your spell. And once again, the UMMC Knight Riders are truly on the back foot here. Bang, there it goes into the deep. And that will make all of the Knight Riders feel so much better. That was a length ball that was powered over mid-wicket. And it's the first scoring shot off the bat for the Knight Riders. 6 to Wihan Lubi.
Lovely shot indeed from Wihan Lubi. Got a solid connection on that all the way for 6. That's what you want to expect from a player of his class and of his caliber. You'd want them, especially in tough situations like this, a wicket down, back-to-back maidens on the board. This is where heroes are made, and a lot of the times you'd expect your heroes to be players like Wihan Lubi, highly experienced players.
What a great delivery, and that hurt Wihan Lubi. The short ball is being used to really good effect by both of these opening bowlers, and Wihan Lubi is in some discomfort.
Hostility shown here by the bowlers, Anwar Ali and Samin Gul. They haven't shied away from those short deliveries into the body. Done some bit of damage already. Wihan Lubi feeling that right hand. Anwar Ali. 8 balls, he's only given up 6 runs, and that 6 came from just 1 shot.
Well, this is going to be difficult. Wihan Lubi definitely hurt there. That hit him. Initially, I thought it was the elbow, but he's taken off the glove, his right glove. He's a right-handed or left-handed batter, so it's the top hand. The top glove is the one that is hurt. Exactly what you would expect from a good fast bowler, following up that short ball with a beautiful Yorker. Played at and missed by Wihan Lubi. What do you see here, Matt? Look at this delivery.
Yeah, going full right after giving him a short one that caught him on the hand. Smart bowling from Anwar Ali. The Kingsmen have really taken the field with some bit of confidence and some pep in their step. Pacers are quite fired up, especially with the wicket of Malhotra.
Again, going past the outside edge. Sort of a half-hearted shot there by Wihan Lubi, which goes to emphasize the fact that if you have the ability to knock a short ball in and disturb the batter, then that impacts the way that he approaches all the delivers after that. And the best batters in the world can put whatever happened with a short ball out of their mind and focus on the next ball. But Wihan Lubi is now being tested by this bowling attack, specifically from Anwar Ali. That's well played. That's exactly what you want to do in situations like this. Just drop it into the gap and get off strike. So just 1 ball remaining now in the 3rd. 8 runs on the board. And there's an absolute call it tension in the air, because if you're the UMMC Knight Riders, you lost your captain. Both batters at the wicket have been hit. And still 141 runs needed in 103 balls. So Norman Anwar now on strike, and a bit of changing around in the field. Still inside the power play. Man at deep mid wicket. And in fact, he is the only one outside the circle. Nope, sorry. One at deep backward square. So short and straight might be what we're looking at here. That's exactly what we have here. Uh-oh, run out opportunity. Throw down to the non-strikers end. Not going to be in time. Namananwar pinches a single. That is the end of the over. 8 runs coming from that over. After 2, the score is 9 for 1.
Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
9 for 1. 3 overs completed. Quiet starts for the UMMC Knight Riders. Nauman Anwar 1 of 8. Luby 7 of 9. Got to credit the bowling efforts so far from Anwar Ali and Samin Gul.
Pacers have absolutely done the job today. Samin Gul with a wicket maiden to start with. Bowling to Nauman Anwar. I think Nauman Anwar is still feeling the effects of that blow that he took from the last ball of the second over. And as a good fast bowler, you would expect that Samin Gul would attempt to capitalize on that. So I would definitely expect something short if I were Nauman Anwar. As him hopping, that's well played though by Nauman Anwar. Hopping up on top of that to smother the bounce and then pinching a single at the same time. So good work from him to get down to the other end. But this opening pair looking really threatening with the ball here, Matt.
Yeah, they've caused a lot of problems. Samin Gul, a lot of ones on those figures. 1 for 1 from 1.1. 138 required, 10 on the board in the 4th over. Not the start the Knight Riders were expecting. But from this point on, it's all about how do Nauman Anwar and Rehan Luby, how do they fight themselves out of this predicament? Do they fight fire with fire and try to attack? Because we do know Nauman Anwar naturally is an aggressive batter. Or do they take time to consolidate?
Slanting that one in toward the left-hander from around the wicket. I think he's a better, or he's not only a better bowler, but I think he would be more uncomfortable to Rehan Luby if he bowls from over the wicket. Aim that short ball at the ribs or the armpit of Rehan Luby. Those from over the wicket to a left-hander are much more threatening. That angle is always an uncomfortable one for left-handed batter. Rehan Luby now 7 from 10. For a split second, might have had the opportunity, or might have thought he had the opportunity to run a quick single to Harmeet Singh, but no realistic way of having that happen. So we're into this spot in the innings where there's 99 balls left. You still have 139 runs to get. Only 10 runs on the board halfway through the 4th over. So, you know, I said it in the first innings, it feels like the screws are being tightened. And as of right now, the UMMC Knight Riders don't appear to have the ability to untighten those screws. Almost a return catch. Rehan Luby playing out in front of his body. And that ball hanging tantalizingly close in the air to Samin Gul, who's not able to get over to get that.
Chipping one in the air on this occasion is Rehan Luby. Not in control at all and just out of reach for Samin Gul. Few inches to the left and that could have been trouble.
I mean, goal with that long run up, starting a couple of yards outside the 30-yard circle. Down the leg side, and he's going to have to re-bowl this one. Boy, you take any of these runs any way you can get them. That's the first, make that the second extra of the day so far. So to answer the question that you asked earlier, Matt, I think you just play each ball on its merits. I don't think you make a decision to be aggressive or not be aggressive. I think if you get one going down the leg side or too wide from either of these two excellent bowlers, you throw the kitchen sink at it, as they say. But otherwise, I think you just look for opportunities to get ones and twos. Like that. Take off. It took off a little late. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be a run out. Oh, Wihan Lube initially called for the run. He's the one who called for it. Took off running. Underhanded throw from inside the circle. Hit the stumps directly at the non-striker's end. Found Wihan Lube well short.
Yeah, Lube took off running. Tried to put some pressure on Saad Ali. Maybe tried to force a fumble or something like that. Looking for the quick single. And then Saad Ali, pretty much all in one motion. The pickup on just the underarm. And Wihan Lube well short. Big moment there for Kingsmen. 11 for 2. Lube goes for 7. Another look at the wicket of Wihan Lube. Yet again looking to scamper through. And Saad Ali hitting the stumps, direct hit. And that was the end of that. 11 for 2 on the board. Nitish Kumar walks to the middle. It's been a very good start here for the Kingsmen. And when you look at how these two franchises match up in terms of historically speaking throughout the years, this Kingsmen franchise is a franchise that have been to so many finals or so many playoff games within the last 2 or 3 years or so. They are very experienced when it comes to the big moments. They know how to win games. They know how to fight themselves out of things. UMMC as well. Another side very successful over the last few years. So very interesting to see which team's experience, or which franchise's experience comes in the most.
Oh, had that been a direct or an accurate throw, that would have been another run out. He was nowhere close that time, and very honestly would have been out by probably 3 yards had that hit directly. Talk us through this, Matt. I think he's out by a mile.
Looked like it. Had the throw been even slightly on, could have been trouble right away. 4 done. It's 12 for 2, the Knight Riders.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the.
So Anwar Ali continues his very economical spell. 2 overs, 1 maiden, none for 8 for him. Comes in with his 3rd over with the UMMC Knight Riders in a bit of a crisis here at 12 for 2. Nauman Anwar has found things tough going so far, hasn't been able to perhaps play as freely as he would have liked. And Nitish Kumar, new to the crease.
So Two fielders outside the circle, still inside the power play. This is the penultimate over of the power play. I note that those two fielders are at backward square leg and deep fine leg. Make that backward square leg and mid wicket, fine leg inside the circle. So that tells me you're expecting something short, or his stock ball in this portion of his spell is going to be something in the vicinity of the body of the batter and short of length. Slower delivery. Norman Anwar plays about a week early.
Well executed slower ball that from Anwar Ali. Swinging all around it is Norman Anwar. Has really found things difficult to lay bat on ball so far.
Well, certainly a long way to go in this match, but you get the sense that UMMC Knight Riders are losing the plot. Slash and a miss. And that overall run rate now is down to 2.67. They need to score at almost 9 and over from here to win. This current rate gets them nowhere near what they need to be getting to. And, you know, this is a relatively deep batting lineup. Go all the way down to Mohammed Mohsin, who we've spoken about before, who is a big hitter of the cricket ball. But this bowling is going to be a difficult prospect for these batters of the UMMC Knight Riders, not showing so far an ability to do much productive against this bowling attack. Short ball protesting that the batter was advancing down the wicket, which is true, he was advancing. But for me, where it ended up, had he been in his crease, that still would have bounced far over the top of his head. So either way, it's still going to be a wide.
Three of 13 at the moment now, Norman Anwar.
Well played, and another single. Just going back to that run out, hopefully at some point we'll be able to see a replay of it. I think part of the reason why that run out occurred was that Wian Lube was partially obstructed by the bowler in his follow-through. Certainly incidental, didn't do it intentionally, but that would have contributed to the run out as well. But doesn't matter how it happens, those run outs still count and still absolutely devastating for the UMMC Knight Riders to have both Wihan Lube and Captain Jaskaran Malhotra back in the hutch. There's just one ball remaining here. Anwar Ali bowling really well so far. 2.5 overs and only 9 runs conceded. Continuing to help his teammate apply the pressure. Make that 3 overs and 9 runs conceded. So excellent bowling here from Anwar Ali. At the end of 4, make that at the end of 5. Anwar Ali and Samin Gul have the UMMC Knight Riders in trouble. The score is 13 for 2.
$13 for 2. We saw a very good opening here from Anwar Ali and Samin Gul. And now Salman Irshad given the ball. And Brian, here in the United States, we have, particularly in the Houston area, We have our own fan favorite Yorker King known as Ali Khan. Back in Pakistan where Salman Irshad is from. He is their Yorker King and has shown glimpses of it at domestic level and at PSL level playing for the Peshawar Zalmi. You can look up so many compilations of this man's killer Yorker.
Well, that absolutely was not a Yorker, but he has the pace to not only bowl Yorkers, but if he chooses to bang it in short like he did there to Nauman Anwar, he absolutely can trouble him. And you saw him bowl yesterday, and you saw plenty of those types of deliveries, not only the Yorkers that you talk about, but also when he chooses to bend his back and get that extra oomph on that delivery, he becomes somebody who's really difficult to play. And there you see now Martin Guptill standing wide, almost like a gully position, waiting to see what happens here. Oh, flashing and missing. That will keep Guptill interested. That will keep that fielder, deep third, interested, because all of a sudden, Nauman Anwar is having trouble putting bat to ball.
Yeah, Nauman Anwar 4 from 17. Hasn't been able to really fire to his extent today. Salman Irshad continuing right where Samin Gul and Anwar Ali would have left off. Keeping things very tidy.
Uppercut goes all the way for 6. Intentional shot. Definitely getting under it. And that's why I said a couple of deliveries ago that that would keep deep third interested, because at that pace, any amount of an edge, whether or not it's cleanly hit, will carry very far in that direction. Here it goes for 6.
Much needed that from Nauman Anwar and for the UMMC Knight Riders. Lovely uppercut shot that from Anwar. Got him the max result. Just perhaps relieves some of the pressure here that has been constantly building since ball 1 for the UMMC Knight Riders.
Salman Irshad is such a difficult bowler to face. He's extremely cagey, and at that pace, I think his error there was bowling that one a little too wide. But that pace and that length, he's extremely difficult to play. And so it comes to the point where, as the batting side, you have to decide, okay, we need to manufacture runs from somewhere. Even with that 6, we're only scoring at the rate of 3.45 runs and over. And the required rate is still just a touch below 9. So if we want to get into the finals, we're going to have to do something different, because we can't just sit back and allow them to bowl at us the way they are. So this is not going to be an easy effort. UMMC Knight Riders are going to have to work to get to where they need to be. And where they need to be, or maybe want to be, is to be one of the representatives of the final, or one of the representative teams in the finals. Still to come, you have Mohammed Mohsin, Ali Sheikh, Mehdi Hassan, Usman Shinwari, Umaida Sif, Carmel Leroux, and Matthew Ford. So in terms of out-and-out batters, this may be the last pair of out-and-out batters that you have. The rest are all-rounders, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but you need to have somebody who's playing as an all-rounder, like a Mohammed Mohsin or like an Ali Sheikh, to put their hand up and say, I'm going to take over where the top order has failed, and I'm going to push forward, and I'm going to be able to get my team over the hump. But that seems like an eternity from now, Matt, because you're still looking at another 130 runs to go.
Yeah, still a long way to go, and still not really quite at perhaps the pace in terms of this innings where they would like to be at all. 3.4 and over, not very promising figures that when you talk about current runs per over.
My goodness, a lot of work to be done, and as I said earlier, a lot of it falls on the shoulders of Nauman Anwar. For me, his wicket may be the biggest wicket the rest of the way. if he bats maybe through the 15th or so over, then I think the Kingsmen could be in danger of losing this game, and UMMC Knight Riders can pull one out of the fire. But if he goes sometime early in the next over or two, then you expose the lower middle order, and that's not where the UMMC Knight Riders want to be. Whipped away into the deep, almost carrying all the way to Harmeet Singh. That was just a split second there that Nauman Anwar would have had his heart in his mouth. Luckily for him, that's just a single down to deep backward square.
Nitish Kumar has only faced one ball yet to get off the mark. Salman Irshad, as we said, carries a lot of pace, a lot of accuracy, especially with that sling arm action of his.
Nitish Kumar not yet off the mark, just 2 balls faced, including that dot ball that he just faced. So just 1 ball remaining here in the power play. A power play that has yielded 20 runs, if you can believe it. By comparison, the power play for the Kingsmen yielded 52 runs. Now, they lost a lot of wickets late or in the middle of the innings and late. So just in terms of where each team was at the end of the power play, safe to say that the Kingsmen are far ahead in this game. Last delivery, what a great ball again. Extra bounce, uncomfortable for Nitish Kumar. Brilliant power play by the Kingsmen. At the end of 6, the score is 20 for 2.
Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
20 for 2, and for the first time we will have spin introduced into the attack in the form of Harmeet Singh. So great bowling so far from the Pacers. 3 overs from Anwar Ali. Those 3 overs yielding 9 runs, and Samin Gul, 2 overs, 1 for 3. Salman Irshad, who you just saw bowl that last over, 1 for 7. But Harmeet Singh, the brilliant left arm spinning all-rounder, comes into the attack. Of course, we're outside of the power play, so you can be much more defensive with the field settings. There's a man at deep mid-wicket. Long on, a wide-ish long on, long off, and a sweeper in the covers. So Harmeet Singh has a lot of protection in the deep. And he'll be looking to attack Nauman Anwar here, who has been there from the beginning, trying to pick things up. 11 from 19. But for him, a far cry from what he ordinarily does. Off the back foot, forced it deep into the covers for a single.
Nitish Kumar, much more of a stroke player that is a lot more technical, can find gaps and can play along the ground, whilst Nauman Anwar is usually the more aggressive of the two. But as we've seen, Nauman Anwar has been restricted and has been kept quiet.
Not the most convincing of shots that time from Nitish Kumar. Kind of trying to ride the bounce on that one. Good lift on that delivery from Harmeet Singh. And that's worked down to long on for singles. So runs absolutely at a premium here. 2 runs already from this over from Harmeet Singh. And I'll steal a page from your book, Matt. It's 22 for 2. All the 2s that we just saw on the line. Boy, Nauman Anwar is choosing to go back to these deliveries from Harmeet Singh, even when they're full. That last one was relatively full. He chose to go back and miss the cut. And very easily could have been caught. That just missed the outside edge. Reaching forward, not out. Half-hearted appeal for stumping, but umpire Aditya Gajar does not agree with Ramiz Raja, the keeper. But once again, stop me if you've heard this before, another dot ball. So the run rate now back down to 3.3, and more importantly, the required rate is now north of 9.5. So as that rate continues to climb, meaning the required rate, expect more desperation to seep into this batting side. That's just a dot ball. In fact, yep, it is a dot ball. That's Martin Guptill in the covers, who didn't pick up cleanly but still able to prevent much from happening in terms of an additional run being taken. So that is the end of an over. And at this point, whether it's pace or spin, everything that Captain Hamad Azam is doing in terms of providing options as bowling is coming up trumps. 22 for 2 after 7. Another change in the attack. Salman Irshad just given that one over. I suspect, Matt, that he'll be saved for the death overs. And now we go with a double left arm spin attack, as this is Hassan Khan bowling from the highway end. 22 for 2. The Kingsmen are putting the squeeze on the Knight Riders. Oh, attempted cut is missed. And once again, another dot ball. And once again, each dot ball, in fact, not only does each dot ball make the required rate go up, each single makes the required rate go up, because now it's up to 9.9. Looking for a reverse sweep, and he is given. Nitish Kumar looking to accelerate, looking to change the conversation, and tries the reverse sweep, misses, is struck in front, and umpire Aditya Gajar agrees with the bowling side that he's dead, a dead duck. 22 for 3.
Always a risk playing those kind of shots, especially given Nitish Kumar hasn't been out there for a long period of time. But that one, a simple decision that for Aditya Gajar. Dismisses Nitish Kumar, looking to go unorthodox, has paid the ultimate price. 22 for 3. The struggle continues for the UMMC Knight Riders.
The struggle continues indeed. I called this man's name earlier. He's in the side as an all-rounder. Was not asked to bowl. Put down the one opportunity that he had to take a catch. But now he's going to be asked to pull his side out of a rut. We're talking about Mohamed Mohsin. And I don't know if he was slated to come in to bat earlier, meaning I don't know if this is the spot that he was supposed to bat. But if you have a power-hitting left-hander, no better time to bring him in than when two left-handed spinners are in operation. So I said earlier that Naman Anwar's wicket was going to be the difference in this game, one way or the other. I could almost make the same argument. In fact, I could say that a lot of whoever wins this game depends on whatever happens with this partnership.
Hassan Khan has been a very good bowler, a very consistent bowler throughout this competition. Has flown under the radar quite a bit. Good delivery there to Mohamed Mohsin. Can't get it away. And now that required run rate officially up and over 10. 10.08 required from this stage on. So 22 for 3, 2.9 and over. Not a situation in which the UMMC Knight Riders were probably expecting they would find themselves in before they got to the ground this morning. But as is the game of cricket, Kingsmen 148. Not a huge amount of runs on the board, but their bowling and fielding efforts have really backed up.
Boy, the body language of Mohamed Mohsin says that he's uncomfortable. Uncomfortable with the way the ball is bouncing off the pitch. So one ball remaining in this, the 8th over. If this is a dot ball, it would be a wicket maiden. Great bowling so far. Mohamed Mohsin dancing down, but only able to smother that one. So a brilliant over from Shajil Khan. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful over. And at the end of it, the Kingsmen have the UMMC Knight Riders under pressure. The score is 22 for 3.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, yeah, here comes the.
8 overs gone, 22 for 3 on the board for the Knight Riders. Hamad Azam, the captain, comes into the attack. 22 for 3 on the board. You'd probably have to say good time to introduce a new bowler. Not a lot of pressure on the bowling side. Batsmen looking to try and just prevent the flow of wickets. They've been really overpowered here, have the Knight Riders so far, by a very top-notch bowling and fielding display from Kingsmen.
Bang! And caught! What a spectacular catch on the boundary. That is, I believe, Milind Kumar out there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, made the fielder in the deep who was placed there exactly for that shot. Milind Kumar taking a pretty straightforward catch. Not easy, was hit very hard, but the 4th wicket goes down, 22 for 4.
Was looking to really assert his dominance on that occasion. Didn't get all of it. In the end, picked out the man. And now Mananwa has to fall. He went for 12. Took him 20.
That I expected that Nauman Anwar's wicket would be the difference between winning and losing for the Knight Riders. I maybe didn't put it exactly like that, but effectively that's what I meant. Well, Nauman Anwar is back inside the hutch. And so now you have 2 spinner all-rounders at the wicket. Mohamed Mohsin is a big hitter. Ali Khan is a quick, I keep saying Ali Khan, Ali Sheikh is a quick scorer, but both of them will be under plenty of pressure here because certainly the Kingsmen are on top. They're absolutely on top, and they're turning the screws. Short delivery pulled away for 4. That's a good way to start his innings by Ali Sheikh. Short, going down the leg side, he helps himself to 4 runs.
He's only a young man, Ali Sheikh, but he's shown us time and again he can win matches, whether it's with the ball in the field or now with the bat. Expressing his talent. Brilliant way to get off and running straight away, pulling 1 for 4. They'll need a lot more where that came from, will the UMMC Knight Riders.
Side for a single.
To the second per. He then referred to me as the youngest man.
Exactly. In the air, will that catch? More than anything else, you need to have runs on the board. That is another dot ball. Each dot ball, I said this earlier, each dot ball makes the job harder, makes the required rate go up. But at this stage, each single makes the required rate go up, as the required rate is now up to 11.3. And then after that dot ball, the required rate is now 11.5. So you're almost needing it from here. 2 runs off of every ball. And Mohammed Mohsin and the UMMC Knight Riders are absolutely in the world of hurt. Oh, scoop shot. That is going to be, oh, what a catch by Martin Guptill. And ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say it if you are a UMMC Knight Rider fan, that might be signaling, if not officially, then effectively, the last chance that they had. 10 overs up. Talk us through this replay when it comes up, Matt.
Martin Guptill, seen him so many times at the international level. What a fielder he is. One-handed grab. Made that look so easy, but Martin Guptill just doing Martin Guptill things. Dismisses Mohammed Mohsin. And the UMMC Knight Riders find themselves half the side out for 32 after 10.
$117 more runs needed in 10 overs with 5 wickets down. If you said to the UMMC Knight Riders at the beginning of this game, or at the beginning of this innings, that at one stage you'd be 32 runs on the board, and you would say, I need more than 32 runs in the power play. They have 32 runs, and they're halfway through the innings. They also are halfway through their side. So Ali Sheikh is the one who is on strike. Hamad Azam lopped it down the ground, catchable. Yet another wicket goes down. That is 2 and 2. And I said it earlier, if not actually the end of the game, effectively the end of the game, as Ali Sheikh holds out in the deep. 32 for 6.
Can't really blame Ali Sheikh. Need to go big. Maybe not perhaps the ball right after losing a wicket, but looking to back himself and clear the fence. In the end, a simple catch, picked out the fielder, and it just keeps getting worse and worse for the Knight Riders. 6 down for 32. Ali Sheikh goes for 5.
So Mehdi Hassan is the new batter. We didn't even get a chance to announce the batter who came in at the fall of the last wicket, Matthew Ford. So 2 absolutely new batters at the wicket, Mehdi Hassan and Matthew Ford. And all of a sudden, this game, which for the last maybe 3 or 4 overs has had an air of inevitability about it, is about to take the shape of a game that effectively has no meaning. What I mean by that is the result almost seems to be predetermined at this point, because from here, only one team, it appears, can win. Only 4 wickets in hand. They have still not gotten past the 32 score. They need another 117 runs, and only 4 wickets in hand, needing to score from here at the rate of 11.9 runs and over. In other words, 2 runs off of every ball. Here's Hamad Azam. Yorker length delivery, just defended into the offside. In fact, defended back to the bowler for no run. So do you throw caution to the wind and just swing for the fences? Net run rate and all that is no longer a consideration. You're in the semifinals. Do you just throw anything and just whatever happens, even if the game ends in the next 2 overs, it ends in the next 2 overs?
I think that's the plan. There's always not really much of a dilemma, but there's always a debate on which one would probably be better, to try and at least attack and really try to stay on the front foot. And even if you lose a ton of wickets, like you said, even if the game ends in the next 2 overs, or do you just try and see out 20 overs and delay the inevitable and just try to drag the game out?
I see no benefit whatsoever to just trying to see the game out. Because, as I mentioned, if this were a group stages match, then maybe you could say, you know what, let's just bat through the end and make sure that we don't hurt our net run rate. In fact, the net run rate might be hurt, but what you do is you bat all the way through the end, and so we don't take as big a hit on net run rate as we otherwise might have. Here, you have absolutely nothing to gain by staying out there batting in 100 degrees with the sun beating down. You may as well just, as we say in Jamaica, throw your bat and see what happens. Hamad Azam now to Matthew Ford. Speaking of Jamaica, yet another Jamaican. There's more than one of us around here, Matt. This is outside the off stump for no run.
I think it'll do the organizing team as well a world of good if the UMMC Knight Riders just decide they have nothing to lose and go for it. Still have a final after this.
Outside off. Going through to wicketkeeper Ramiz Raja for no run. 11 overs up, 33 for 6.
Here comes the.
Once again, Hassan Khan back into the attack.
Y'all don't really want it like. Here comes the.
Keep jumping. Keep looking here instead of here. Hassan Khan back into the attack. Left arm orthodox spinner. And Matthew, if we had a win predictor, we don't have that technology here, but if we had a win predictor, I'm thinking that those numbers would be 98% to the Kingsmen, 2% to the UMMC Knight Riders. Do you disagree?
Somewhere definitely around there if you're looking at just a rough estimate. I think at this point the Kingsmen will back themselves, and I'm sure a lot of people in the ground will probably back the Kingsmen to win this one from here. Matthew Ford really the only hope left for the UMMC Knight Riders, and is that another one? Yes, it is. Stepping across, looking to play that sweep. Mehdi Hassan, in the end, he got bowled all around him. And Hassan Khan comes back into the attack and gets his third wicket for just 2 runs.
Hassan Khan looking to stamp his authority on the remainder of the proceedings, and as I said earlier, I'm thinking this thing has been official for a while. Stepping across, exposing all 3 stumps, looking to whip that away over the leg side, missing the cross-batted shot, and has his leg stump knocked back. So that is the end of Mehdi Hassan. And all of a sudden, we're in the position where not only is the outcome predetermined at this stage, the question to be asked is, do we even get to the 15th over? Because there are now 7 wickets down, 33 runs on the board. Imagine that. And another 116 needed. It's almost to the point. You know, if you're watching a test match, if the match is close on the last day, you see how many runs the chasing team needs to get and how many wickets the bowling team needs to get. At some point, they will stop one of those 2 stats because it becomes obvious that it's out of the reach of one of those 2 teams. At this stage, I would say that we would just take away the runs needed stat, because the only thing that matters from here is the extent to which the Kingsmen can get these last 3 wickets.
So Umair Asif is the new man in. Joins Matthew Ford out in the middle. Hassan Khan, I mentioned how under the radar he's gone. In the air from Umair Asif. He's offering another chance, and another catch is taken. Again, was going to make the point of how good
this match is, whether or not Hassan Khan can get a hat trick. Because nothing else matters at this stage. The required rate is out of control, or out of reach, I should say. Saad Ali with a pretty simple catch. And Boy, when Carmelo came to the park today, he knew that he'd have to bowl. I didn't think that he would think he'd have to bat. Certainly wouldn't think he'd come in with 116 runs still needed to go.
The thing is with this upcoming ball for Hassan Khan, not only is he bowling for a hat-trick, he's also bowling for a fifer. Can he get the hat-trick and the fifer in the same ball? Kami LaRue, the magic man, standing between Hassan Khan and a certain MVP performance with the ball.
I've known Carmelo LaRue for a long time. I've never seen him bat, so I'm actually now surprised to realize as he takes his guard that he's a right-handed batter. I don't think I ever knew that. But right-handed or left-handed is going to be asked right now to prevent the hat-trick ball, 2 slips, attacking field, and he does do exactly that. That may be the last positive thing that has happened for the Knight Riders for the rest of the way, because they still into the 12th over have only 33 runs on the board, if you can believe that. Run rate of 2.87 just will not do it in the finals or in the semifinals. Does he get the 5 for Matthew?
I think he's still got another over to go after this, so I'd probably have to back him to get it. He's on the course for a double wicket maiden here. He's already bowled 1 maiden. We've seen 3 maidens in this innings already. This on the verge of being a 4th. And it is.
Oh my God.
And it is. Hassan Khan take a bow. Double wicket maiden. 3 overs, 2 maidens, 4 wickets for 2 runs for Hassan Khan.
Oh
and there's still 1 more over of him to go. 33 for 8 after 12.
Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
So the beginning of the 13th over, Harmeet Singh is the bowler who takes the ball from the forest end. Bowling his now 2nd over. Conceding a single from that first ball. And we're marching onward to what I think is a pretty predictable result. Harmeet Singh now bowling to Carmelo LaRue. I've never met a fast bowler who did not just love to hit big sixes down the ground, except I've never seen a fast bowler play a reverse sweep for 4 before. Carmelo LaRue deciding it's time to have some fun, and who can blame him? You could argue that the game is all but lost at this point. You might as well go out there and express yourself, Matthew.
Yeah, Kami LaRue certainly knowing perhaps a lot of cameras on him. Big moment for him to showcase his batting talent.
Tries to repeat the dose. Misses out on that. A little bit extra bounce by that on that delivery from Harmeet Singh. And Harmeet Singh waiting here as Carmelo LaRue bothered by something. Not exactly sure what that is, but Bar Owen Brown going to check and make sure that Carmelo LaRue, almost said Carmeet Singh, that Carmelo LaRue is okay. These days, off everybody else. I'm ready to go if everybody will get back to their positions. Thank you. Not exactly sure what that involved, but my suspicion is that it might have been potentially a concern about where that ball hit Carmelo LaRue. But in the grand scheme of things, it matters very little. Tries the reverse sweep for the third consecutive delivery. Just one ball left here in the 13th over. Unbelievable that we're into the 13th over. In fact, a dot ball to close things out in the 13th. So 13 overs up, and if you can believe it, ladies and gentlemen, the UMMC Knight Riders have not yet even gotten to 40 runs. 38 for 8 after 13. And Matthew, of course you give the ball to Hassan Khan to bowl his last over. Oh, does he?
Matthew Ford looking for the sweep. So Hassan Khan back into the attack. Would have been an error in our calculations of Hassan Khan. He's actually bowled only 2 overs. Matthew Ford gets this one away. First run given up by Hassan Khan in the 2 overs he's bowled. He's bowled back-to-back maidens so far. So the first couple of runs from Matthew Ford that's been conceded off of Hassan Khan so far.
Down the ground, that's a good-looking stroke by Matthew Ford. It runs away for 4. So, you know what? I said a couple of in fact, about an over ago when Carmel Leroux played that reverse sweep for 4, that the bowlers at this point are just looking to express themselves. And I think that certainly is something that is on the cards, because in the context of this game, you're not going to win. You're not going to score 16 runs and over the rest of the way with only 2 wickets in hand. So you may as well just go out there and have some fun. Ooh, good delivery. Going past the outside edge again. Clean collection by Ramiz Raja. And so, make that 1, 2 balls left in this, the 15th. Reverse sweep. Oh, just a top edge. And flies over the top of that fielder at second slip. Absolutely attacking here with 2 slips. Of course, you can be as attacking or as defensive as you want to be at this stage if you're the Kingsmen. It doesn't make much of a difference. Fizzing this one through, going well left by Carmel Leroux. In fact, that's the end of the over. 14 up, 7 runs coming from that over. The score is 45 for 8.
Harmeet will continue, 2 overs for 7 from him. 103 required from 6 overs. No real relevance there. 2 wickets left for the UMMC Knight Riders. Matthew Ford and Carmel Leroux out to the middle. Matthew Ford is on 8. Quite capable batter is Matthew Ford. Gets a drag down, was looking to make the most of it. Can only find the fielder. Matthew Ford can definitely give the ball a good hit, but with over 17 runs required, with 45 for 8 on the board, beyond just him alone. The man out of Barbados, Matthew Ford. Carmel Leroux on the other end, and as you mentioned, all about perhaps expressing themselves and seeing what they can get to. Perhaps just trying to go out with some bit of respectability if they can get to a decent score. I mean, I'm not sure there's really much of a decent score anymore with the way they find themselves in, but it's at least something
Good looking stroke to the outfield. Carmelo Rue gets another boundary. Over extra cover this time. That's more where you expect a big fast bowler to play those shots down the ground. And the fact that it went over extra cover, to me, says that there is a little bit more to Carmelo Rue's batting than you would think for a big, burly opening fast bowler. And look at that. They've gotten to 50. And that may be the last sort of landmark that they get to in this match. Off the back foot and hammered away. That goes for 6. Okay, we may have underestimated Carmelo Rue as a batter. On the back foot and pouncing on that ball short of a length and hammering it over the mid-wicket for 6.
Yeah, Carmelo Rue perhaps searching for a promotion. I'm not sure when he will get that promotion because the UMMC Knight Riders look pretty down and out of it. Maybe looking for a promotion whenever next he plays for the Knight Riders franchise. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, showing some of his exploits with the bat. Going after Harmeet Singh.
So do you set a target in your mind if you are the Knight Riders and say, you know what, we can try to get to 100. If we get to 100, we'll consider this as some sort of moral victory. Obviously, they're not going to win this match. I almost said this test match. That is a single down the ground, and that is the end of the 15th over. 5 more to go. Score is 57 for 8.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the.
57 for 8 on the board, 5 overs to go, maybe 80, 90. Going back to that target question. Maybe 80. Let's try being realistic, go for 80. 23 runs. We've already got a partnership of 24 between these two, so 23 more runs. If they can still keep these 2 wickets in hand, push for 90. Then on to 100, but only 30 deliveries remaining, and at the current rate of only 3.8. We'll have to keep that in mind.
Oh, stunning! That is a 5-4, and look at that catch by Martin Guptill. A reverse sweep, and Martin Guptill gets his revenge on Carmelo Rue from having dismissed him earlier in the match. All of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, Hassan Khan has 5 wickets, 9 down. Make that 4, my apologies. But 4 or 9 down for the UMMC Knight Riders.
Second blinder of the day from Martin Guptill. Had 2 one-handed catches. Probably this one even sharper. Less time to react. Going for that reverse sweep for maybe the 3rd time we've seen Carmelo Rue. This time doesn't get hold of it. And Martin Guptill sticking out a hand. Take a look at this one more time. Hassan Khan picks up a 4th. Will aim for the fifer with 5 deliveries left.
I would not be surprised to see 4 men around the bat. There's 2 slips. Okay, maybe not a short leg. Maybe not a short leg. That might be asking too much. But my goodness, they want to get this 5-4 for Hassan Khan. That goes past the outside edge for a dot. So 4 more deliveries for Hassan Khan to get his 5-4. Can he get his 5-4? That is the last bit of intrigue in this match. Oh, in the air for a while. Bounces a couple times before it gets the backward point. Only 3 more deliveries for him to potentially get his 5-4. Great ball. Turns across the right-handed batter Shinwari, but no edge. And just another 2 deliveries. What do you do here to get a wicket? He's thinking of all the magic balls that he has in his armory. Which one will he deploy? In the air, and he got it! 5 wickets down, and that signifies the end of the game. 5-7 all out, and the semifinal goes to the Kingsmen. Matthew, excellent game.
Yeah, Hassan Khan eventually gets there. 5 wickets for 7 runs. Hamid Singh, the man who takes the catch to get him to that mark. And an emphatic display of bowling by the Kingsmen, restricting the UMMC Knight Riders all out to 57. The defending champions are gone in shocking fashion, it's fair to say.
My goodness, so the scorecard does not make for good reading if you are a UMC Knight Riders fan. Only one man make that 2 people in double figures. Naman Anwar, 12, and all the way down at the bottom of the lineup, Carmela Rue with 15. Those are the only 2 who got to double figures. A score of 57 means that, boy, they underperformed by probably 100 runs. And the bowling, absolutely. Look at the third line from the bottom. Hassan Khan, 3.5 overs, 2 maidens, 5 for 7. Excellent bowling from him. Well supported by the pacers up top, who were difficult, hostile, hard to get away. And boy, I tell you, every single one who got the ball in their hand today did the job for Captain Hamad Assam. So a pretty straightforward victory in the end, a comprehensive victory. The UMMC Knight Riders go down hard to the Kingsmen, and the Kingsmen will be the representative from this game in the final later on today, probably around 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So until then, any final words from you, Matt?
Definitely a shock to see the UMMC Knight Riders go out in such fashion. But no shock to see the Kingsmen moving on to another final. We've talked all tournament about how experienced this franchise is and how much success has followed them over the last year or 2 across the country. Kingsmen in the final will be taking on either Dallas All-Stars, and Sam Palmy will get you an update from that reduced game. What a tournament it's been, winding down the 2023 DAFA News Houston Open. And we've got one half of the final set. Kingsmen, congratulations.